Well, there goes the DAVERHOOD. Good morning. No. And I even had a nap today. I'm so used to saying good morning, everyone. It will be.
David, look outside.
Yeah, it's pitch black.
Is it 3 a.m. in the morning?
No, but we will be here into the early morning because this is our annual DAVERHOOD New Year broadcast. We're here. We're live. It is New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2024, the old year that we are saying farewell to. And we're waiting patiently, well, not so patiently, to put these on in just a couple of hours. But we have some fun stuff to do until then because, by the way, I'm Dave Lefkowitz. You're watching the Dave's Gone By show. That is my darling and adorable wife. Oh, my God. How am I going to get through tonight?
Your honey wants to try to predict the future.
Oh, dear. Look at this. Here. Oh, magic something ball. Is this going to be a... Wait, is there any... Oh, there's nothing in here. Magic something ball likes me. Look at that. Okay, the magic something ball, my wife's putting something in it. And by the way, this is our 973rd episode of the program. So very excited about that. We've been on since 2002 doing this kind of, whatever this is. So, okay, here we go. Oh, this is like a magic ball for you-know-who's. A magic ball, a wonderland for our very special New Year potato. Here he is.
Wait, they're coming in.
Oh, here come the chickens. The chickens are flying in. The chickens are landing. Oh, there's just too much stuff.
Here's a potato flying in, too.
Potatoes flying in on his bat wings. Oh, everybody, Happy New Year. There we go.
Wow.
We have a packed program for you tonight into early tomorrow morning. It's Tuesday night, December 31st, in the DAVERHOOD. The chickens are being... Oh, those are sloths. Did any of the sloths stick? No. They're not very appendable sloths. But we dependably are going to have a weird, crazy, kooky, fun time on this program tonight. Our 973rd. Oh my God, I got to get my head together because we have so many special guests joining us in the DAVERHOOD. Old friends who've been on the program many years ago, a lot of people who were on this past year, kind of remembering them and honoring them for being new in the DAVERHOOD, but we also salute, of course, our friends of the DAVERHOOD. So lots of folks, plus the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon will have a rabbinical reflection for the new year and the old year going out, and we may even have a festive, extra festive BUNION watch. So my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, plus all the wonderful guests who will be, some of them live, some of them pre-taped. You just got to stay tuned from now, 9 in the evening, until about 12:30 in the morning on the first day of the new year. Well, before we bring in our first guests and stuff, hello, honey, how was your year overall?
Good.
Yeah, not terrible, right?
It was a good year. Very good year.
What was your favorite aspect of the year?
I didn't die.
This is true. We did not die.
We did not die.
Yeah.
We, I don't know, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me it was possibly the trip to Buffalo.
Because you survived the shooting in the car, an incendiary car.
No, like the day, hours before we got into town.
Yeah.
And I went for a walk. I went to look where a theater was and get some snacks and stuff. I've been walking just down this block in Buffalo, New York. And I was told later on by someone that, there was a shooting there this morning. Like somebody first blew up a car, then came back and shot the owner of the car dead.
Isn't that the definition of like extra? Like,
yeah.
It's a lot, right?
You figure torching the car alone would be something, but going back, I mean, it's beyond Luigi even. Luigi didn't blow up a car.
No, the car bombing is...
Yeah. But Buffalo was a great time. We stayed in like an amazing hotel called the Richardson that used to be a mental institution. Yeah.
Are you getting feedback?
I don't think Hello? Is Facebook on somewhere else? I don't think
I'm gonna put on your Facebook and see.
But no, I think we're okay.
Well, you know what I think? I think
What?
the only thing that would make my year better is this. Could you do my hair like that?
I know we
Or your
found
hair like that.
Joyce found this old picture of me.
Oh, we should have shown the one that you look like Billy Joel.
Oh, I don't see it though. But
Yeah.
but anywho, yeah, we're here. And let's see, it's almost time. Well, we're talking about the fine time in the Richardson Hotel, which had ceilings. I swear to God, they had to be 12 or maybe 16-foot ceilings, even in the hotel rooms, not just the lobby.
Oh, it was great.
And it made a beautiful experience. It
Well,
was
for us, we like it
yes.
nostalgia. I didn't get to go to the little carnival, but we had a really great time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a really great. I have to edit the stuff for them, I'm sure, but it really was lovely.
And I think that was maybe my favorite.
Well, for us, it was a trip where we didn't have much, like, it was a conference, but not in the same way like conferences where you have to attend something 24/7. So
yeah, I mean, you did what you had to do, but then you had time on your own to relax and to walk around.
Yeah. It wasn't just like you were, like at a conference, back-to-back stuff. I think we did a lot of walking. What else did we do? You saw a show.
Right, I went to a play.
We went to a museum. I mean,
yeah,
did a lot.
So I think overall, probably my favorite. It's also fairly recent. We went there just a few weeks ago. So, I mean, we also went to New York for a couple of days. I saw some theater there. Suffs was very good. Unfortunately, it's either closing imminently or it has already closed. Well, anyway, and it's been on the whole.
What do you think? What do you think your bunion's favorite color is? I'm gonna make him a little halo.
Oh, my bunion loves that light blue, or it might be in this tint. It may be silver, but it has a blue speckle.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we do have Bunyan Watch coming up. We also, as I mentioned, have Rabbi Sol. We have so many guests visiting the neighborhood. We'll also do a short segment, as they do on the Oscars and the Tonys, of passing. So people who have been on our show over the years who passed away this past year. And we got to give a shout out to them. But it's mostly going to be happy stuff. It's mostly going to be fun stuff of people that we know reminiscing about the year, wishing people a happy new year, just bantering and having fun one after the other after the other. It's going to be a little bit chaotic at times, but we'll try to get a handle on things. But happy new year, everybody. Let me just so we don't run behind. Let me start getting some people loaded up.
It looks like you have somebody at 9:10, I believe.
Right, and I'm going to start that now
and
because
it's already 9:09.
Exactly. And this is how it goes. And plus, I have to keep going back and forth out of and share screen for this. So our first guest is a comedian. He's a fellow named Mark Miller, very funny guy, and he was on. Why? No, I don't want him on audio. Oh, I hit the audio file. That's why. I want the video file of comedian Mark Miller, who was on the show a few months ago, and now he's back. So let me share the screen so we can all enjoy a short chat with Mark Miller. First, I got to share the screen, then I can do this. Yeah, come on. There we go. Let's kind of get rid of that. Thank you very much. Bring on this. And here, my friends, Mark Miller. Well, it's Miller time here in the neighborhood on this December 31st, going into the brand new year. And we are very, very happy to have a recent guest returning with us. He's Mark Miller, and he is a comedian and a comedy writer. He's written for people like Gary Shandling and Dana Carvey, and he wrote for such TV shows as Different Strokes and She's the Sheriff. And he also has a book called 500 Dates, an autobiographical tome about his dating life. As a matter of fact, I think we'll start with that, Mark. Welcome back to the neighborhood. How's your dating life been in 2024?
Thank you for having me on the show, Dave. I've been with the same woman for nearly 10 years, so I don't have much of a dating life, but the relationship is going well. She's not understanding about allowing me to date outside of what we have together.
Really? That's a shame. That would be the ideal, but you're at a 9.5 instead of the ultimate 10. How did you meet your significant other, by the way?
Online dating.
Yeah, but
we hit it off. My book is a series of essays on my online date adventures, and she was one of the few that turned into something positive. Some of them lasted a long time. Most of them you don't see more than that, as you know, first coffee date. But this one lasted for years.
well, a mazel tov, as Rabbi Sol Solomon would say. So, speaking of things that lasted for years, or even a brief thing, in 2024, what special, funny, or amusing, or weird thing happened to you?
Well, you know how you go for months or years without anything happening to your body medically or physically? You don't have to call your doctor. You don't have to go in for an appointment. This was the opposite of that for me. I had a big hernia operation, and that was a major thing, but it was more than that. I had dental things, a crown, an extraction.
Not in the same place. You had make it sound like everything was going on down there. Okay. Oh,
different places, and I will be having an implant where they took the extraction out of as well. So lots of medical things, and I guess we all take turns. But yeah.
To be honest, our next door neighbor had hernia surgery last week. Thank God, he's doing great. And I have had 2 hernia surgeries in my life. The last one was kind of brutal. How was yours, honestly?
It went smoothly, but my bikini modeling career is over. They couldn't do the laparoscopic one, which is when they make the tiny incision and go into the camera, because of previous surgeries I had. There was scar tissue, and they had to get in the normal way. So I've got various cuts down there. I've chosen not to show them on this broadcast.
I appreciate that.
But they'll be in the broadcast extras if people are paying for an upgraded
cut of this program. We'll have Mark Miller's scar. And by the way, did they use? I heard this for the first time. Are you stitched or did they use glue?
I am. Well, am I stitched or did? The reason I'm confused is because they put stitches in the extraction for the tooth, and they cut those out.
Right.
But there were no stitches. That they must have used some sort of glue or something down there.
Elmer's wood glue. It's an amazing thing that they cane, of course.
I requested the special Jew glue, which
really?
is so it's thousands of years
so
old.
It heals you quickly, but it makes you feel guilty while you're healing, or how does Jew glue work?
Well, my girlfriend now calls it the Holy Land down there because of the Jew glue. So.
Right. And does she kneel down in front? No, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't. What
only on the high holidays.
But what are your plans for the year ahead, Mark? And do you have any travel plans, any writing plans, any scripting plans? What?
I'm getting deeply into the world of cartoon captions. You're probably familiar with the New Yorker Caption Contest. Well, that's a whole sub-universe of people that are connected to it with podcasts, emails, websites, and other magazines, newspapers, and websites that have their own contests, and there's books written about it. So since my strength is joke writing, I submit every week. I post 10 possible captions to the New Yorker contest on my Facebook page, and I get feedback, and I love it because it keeps the jokes chops moving. So
if you've been a finalist, have you won, or have you even any response back from the New Yorker people? Because I see your Facebook page. I see you doing, sometimes I know which ones of yours I think are the funniest for that week.
Thanks. I've gotten zero response from the New Yorkers, but it doesn't bring me down, because the doing it itself is what gives me the joy, and the getting feedback from everybody else who reads them. Plus, those little libraries that you find on when you take a walk, somebody sets them up. They're like free lending libraries. I recently got Moby Dick from one of them, and that's a project for 2025. I've never read Moby Dick, but I've heard so much about it, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
Well, you have a whale of a project in front of you. Ha, 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 ha. Sorry, that's terrible. Mark Miller Humorist is Mark's website, markmillerhumorist.com, and also get his book, 500 Dates, and read that, and also look for Mark Miller and his captions. I'm going to be rooting for you to get into the New Yorker sometime in 2025. You're going to do it. I can tell you're going to do it, man. So I want to thank you for joining us again in the neighborhood, to wish you a very happy, healthy Hanukkah, as well as New Year, and hope to see you back next year, too.
The same to you and all your followers. Thank you for having me, Dave. You are a wonderful human being and a delight to most people on the planet.
Thank you, man. See you soon.
Thanks, David.
Big up Mark Miller there in the neighborhood. What a great way to start us all off. Always got to go with a comedian to get things rolling in the neighborhood, particularly on our New Year's show. You know what? We have another guest coming into the neighborhood. She's also pretty funny herself. So funny that she had a recurring role on the rather well-known sitcom Seinfeld. Sorry?
We see your screen, honey.
Yeah, I'm not even getting out of the share screen yet. I'm gonna load up Annie Korzen in the neighborhood. Annie has had like this third career now, because Seinfeld was one thing, but she parlayed her recognition there into this TikTok universe of doing these short videos that have thousands and thousands and thousands of viewers. So it's a thing for her. And we're going to hear all about that and all about her year. Annie Korzen in the neighborhood momentarily. Just going to load that one up, get her going on the Neighborhood New Year show. On the 2024 ending 2025 beginning episode of the Dave's Gone By show, we are delighted to have someone who has been on this program earlier this year talking about her life and career as an actress, kind of, floating along, getting some work, not a lot, and then Seinfeld hit, and she had that recurring character there. Annie Korzen getting a lot of work since then as well, plus a book that she has written. So welcome back to the neighborhood, Annie Korzen. Happy New Year to you.
Hi. Happy New Year to you. I like this time of year. I like taking a little time off if I can.
So you're busy the rest of the year.
I am busy. Well, I have my TikTok thing. I have almost 500,000 followers on TikTok. So creating that keeps me busy. And then this year, and I'm going to do it now, I've been plugging my book, The Book of Annie, Humor, Heart, and Chutzpah from an Accidental Influencer. And it's just a bunch of funny essays, humorous essays, and kind of observations about how I see the world.
Well, would there be something that happened to you since the book was published, since then, like this year, that you put in the book now, if it were being a second edition?
Well, something, I taught my first college level class, and that was very interesting. I've never taught storytelling to a bunch of 20-year-olds before. And it was kind of interesting. They were sweet. I liked them, but I realized they know nothing, they've read nothing, they've done nothing. And what I forgot was they spent their high school years in lockdown. So these poor kids have missed out a lot. So getting them to tell stories about it was not easy.
Well, what is the secret to good storytelling versus bad storytelling? I mean, what makes a story good?
That's an interesting question. I don't have time to answer it totally, but I will say that a good story has to have a satisfying ending. It's got to be more than an anecdote. It's not a party. It's not entertaining people at a party about your miserable trip to LA where a story has to have an ending where you have a moment of realization what this journey did for you. What did you learn from it? What did you gain from it? How are you a better, smarter, better person? And I think a lot of people don't understand that. It's not just a funny anecdote. It's a story that has an actual literary arc.
Nice.
Does that sound too overwhelmed, too demanding?
No, it's just that for this show, I deliberately told every guest, was like, prepare a funny anecdote.
Well, that's it. That's fine. Yeah. Anecdotes are great. No, I like anecdotes, but that's not, when we talk about storytelling as an art, like The Moth and David Sedaris and what's her name? My favorite writer, whose name I can never remember, Anne Lamott. Great storytellers. There's a point at the end of it.
And in terms of acting, because you're still acting and being out there, you mentioned a show or a film called Ethel that you were?
No, Thelma. I was in Thelma with June Squibb. It was a very funny, very sweet movie. June Squibb is 94.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine had a very good scene in it. Bunny Levine had a scene in it. Bunny is 95. So I'm 86. I was the kid, and I was the young person. Oh, and you know who else my scene was with?
No.
Shaft. Who was the actor who played
Richard Roundtree? He passed.
Richard Roundtree passed just after the film was finished.
Oh, wow.
And I went up to him and I said, now, this is not a story. This is an anecdote. Okay. Richard, he was sitting by himself, and I said, may I pay my respects to a legend? And he looked up and he said, there's a legend here? Who, what, where? I mean, he just kind of played with me.
Oh, that's sweet. I mean, anecdotes do work too, at least in this.
Oh, no, there's a place for anecdotes. It's just not the art of storytelling.
So let me ask you, Annie Korzen, what's coming up for you in 2025? Where can we see you? Or, well, you've got the TikTok videos; those are rolling.
I have my TikTok videos. I hope to do more teaching. I always teach online classes, and I hope to get more. I want to talk to people about my book, so I get guest speaker invitations to communities, to temple, whatever. Whoever wants me, I don't say no to anybody. I love talking about myself. And I'll tell you something interesting that I discovered in 2024, because I was thinking about, you said, what I did in 2024, Dave, I let go of a lot of long-term habits. Like, I gave up my driver's license. I'm the world's worst driver. I can't parallel park. Why should I do something that I'm so... Driving is not something you should do if you know you're bad at it. Do you agree?
Agreed. Oh, very much agreed.
World is bad. And I gave up subscriptions to things that I've had without the LA Times, the New York Times, Vanity Fair, the New Yorker. Why am I paying all this money? But I do miss them because I don't like reading on a screen. So you know what I do, because I'm a cheapskate? My neighbors give me theirs. So I just have to wait. So I just get it. So I get the Sunday New York Times puzzle on Monday rather than on, you know what I mean? It's not a big sacrifice. And I'm saving a bunch of money.
Oh, absolutely.
A bunch of those subscriptions add up.
I don't know how old the New York Times newspapers are. I don't know if you know that Russia attacked Ukraine, and that's been.
I've heard something about that.
And John F. Kennedy was shot in the head. Actually, was in a car, and it didn't go well for him. If you heard, he's not president anymore.
No. I have heard. What I actually do is I skim through the CBS News every night. Nora O'Donnell. So I go fast forward. I go fast forward through wars, politics, and what
global warming, maybe
pandemics, and I just go and just find the good stuff.
Well, you are the good stuff, Annie Korzen. It's great to have you back on the show. Last thing, where can people get your book and go to your TikTok? Do you have a website that people can?
Oh. Yeah, you can go to Amazon, The Book of Annie, Humor, Heart, and Hutba, or you can come to my website with any questions, AnnieKorzen.com. Or look for me on TikTok. If you're TikTok people, I'm A. Korzen, better known as the Krispy Kreme Lady. That's the TikTok that got me all my millions of followers. I won't tell you what it's about.
The Krispy Kreme Lady, indeed. Annie Korzen with us in the neighborhood. Happy New Year to Annie. Thanks so much. Annie Korzen in the neighborhood. If she's the Krispy Kreme lady, I'm probably the Mission Barbecue dude. That would probably fit me to a T. Now, listen, I've got to bring this up so I've got to stop my share. How do I stop share? Or make me again? Here I go. Am I still sharing, or do I look like me?
I can't see. I'm in another thing.
I think I'm me. I hope I'm me.
I hope you're you too.
But you're watching the Dave's Gone By. Oh, I am screen sharing. Stop share. Now we're good. Hello. Dave Lefkowitz here. Our 973rd episode. This is the Neighborhood New Year. We're calling it Hello 2025.
There's a little bit of a delay, so it still has the old thing you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, no, but I think we're okay. I stopped the... We should be good. And then we're waiting for our first live guest of the night.
No, you're not.
Aren't we?
No.
Oh, no, it's another tape.
You got Mr. Stephen.
Oh, that's right. We do have my old friend from high school, actually junior high school too, a fellow named Stephen Fisch, We can, you know what, we'll go back. I will share screen again, and I'll bring Stephen on. You know Stephen. We love Stephen Fisch.
He's a lovely man.
And so Stephen is a retired school teacher. I have, as I said, known him. I was in 2 bands with him. He was the head, if you will, in a way, of Stephen Fisch and his fabulous Fish Heads when I was young, and I was kind of a songwriter and keyboardist for them. And then he was also part, in a way, of our later band, the Moist Sheep, that certainly made the 1980s interesting. But here is, let's see, let's check in with our beloved Stephen Fisch. Here he is. We'll open that up, and I will share, well, the screen is sharing again. Hey, Stephen. Well, you can teach a man to fish, but I'd rather be with a man who is fish. This is my old friend, and I mean from junior high school years.
That's right.
Great old friend, Stephen Fisch, former teacher, now retired, and enjoying life and sports and concerts and music. So he's joining us here on our annual, I guess it is, New Year's Eve broadcast. Stephen, how are you?
I'm okay. As recording this, I am now, as of today, December 28th, 60 years old. So I'm now a sexagenarian, which really should have a different meaning than it does. But
but the problem is when it gets to be our age, it doesn't. So there you go.
There you go.
So how was your 2024 is kind of difficult for a lot of people. How was it for you? Any good things that happened? What was it?
I had some good. I went to, of course, a couple of concerts and things which we could talk about. I'm starting to get to go to more concerts now than I have been than I was in 2023. But not like I used to be before that.
Sure.
But still getting there.
So can I ask, what was the best concert you saw this past?
Number one, I would go with the Rolling Stones at MetLife Stadium in mid-May. And it was I've seen them many times over the years, but this was my first time seeing them since the death of Charlie Watts, the drummer, legendary drummer. So, so it was an emotional experience, of course, but it's always great to see them. They always put on a great show, and they didn't fail to do that in May. They had some good new material from their Hot Me Diamonds album,
right?
And some, of course, some classical oldies.
Of course. So, what else happened to you? Any stories from 2024? Any fun or funny anecdotes?
Fun or funny anecdotes? That's it's been a tough year. I guess all the things that have gone on in my personal life, but yeah, I've had fun whenever I could. I've gone out and seen music and occasionally gotten to see friends. I don't really get to see friends as much anymore. It's just great to do this now. This is turning to be a highlight of 2024.
Well, excuse me, on your birthday. This is because we're taping this a couple of days before New Year's. But yeah, seeing me on your birthday, what could be better than that? Parents, as you mentioned, they may not be in the best shape, but they're still alive.
Yeah, there you go. That's the important thing, and they can be on the mend. They're not like, it's not in the worst it could be yet.
Your partner Susan is doing reasonably well.
Yeah, she's having her dialysis stuff done, but she's she's on the mend. Certain other things like she had issues with her foot, but now those things are on the mend, and so we're living, breathing, and that's the important thing. The better stuff may be yet to come.
Oh, wait, are you a New York Jets fan or Giants fan? I forget. Because it can only go up. Yeah,
I root for both. I'm more of a Giants guy, but I root for the Jets too. It's been hard to watch them. This year has been abysmal for both of them.
You're a baseball fan. Are you a bigger baseball fan? Are you a Mets fan? I forget because
I root for the Mets, but at my heart, I'm a Yankee guy. When the Mets are not playing the Yankees, I root for the Mets. And when the Mets play the Red Sox, I root even harder.
Well, I'm always rooting for my good old friend for Stephen Fisch from junior high and from high school, too. So what is your hope for 2025, Stephen?
I hope we, live long, prosper, and do, yeah, there you go. That's right. I can never do it. And it never, two fingers always want to come forward.
Yeah.
My hands are not Star Trek fans. What can I tell you? And then I'm a lefty. I can't even do it with the left hand.
Well, there's certain things I do with my left hand, but we won't talk about those. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been chatting with a wonderful Stephen Fisch. Stephen, I hope to, again, healthy to everyone in your circle, including you. A very, very happy New Year. I hope to see you again this coming year.
All right. That sounds great. Be well. Bye.
Mr. Stephen Fisch in the DAVERHOOD, my friends.
David, he laughed the hardest during your reading of the play. I sat next to him, and he
Right.
was such a pleasure, such a lovely man. He laughed so much. He was like, Dave's so great, so smart, and we just laughed. He was such a pleasure.
Yeah, no, I that's when a friend of mine comes to one of my plays, that is the mark
Such a
of,
lovely man.
So, yeah, lovely people so far. Mark Miller, Annie Korzen, Stephen Fisch. We have so many more.
Let's not stop sharing screen.
Oh, it is. I did. Yeah. We're good. Look at me. Look, I've still got the hat on. I guess I should leave it. Should I leave it?
I think you should switch it. You should change the hat.
Oh, all right. It's time for the hat changing.
Okay.
Because we have one special segment that we are going to do. I forgot to mention this one before we bring in more guests. One segment that we do every week.
I think you should do the more formal here.
Oh yeah. Oh, going with the black. I wish I were wearing my tie. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, technically Rabbi Sol Solomon is the black hatter, but we'll try this.
Whoa!
Oh.
Get on the side for
Looky. Well, let me try.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Nothing says that says class.
It reminds me of an Uncle Floyd character named Chuck Little Hat.
It looks like part of your decorations have mange on one side. Look.
Because I have mange on my side. So we have one segment that we do every week.
Why don't you wear your flippers?
What flippers?
Your flippers.
The boingy boings? They're on the wall there, over there.
Here.
It's called Greeley Times, and it's based on stories that are in the Greeley Tribune newspaper. Oh, those, yes, of course. Thank you, yeah. Does that say cheers? I can't.
Yeah.
Or and.
Wait, you didn't take off the...
Oh, that's all right. Greeley Times, actual phone calls that come into the police department from people who are worried about stuff going on in their neighborhoods. And so the funniest ones... Thank you, dear. Oh, look at me. Yeah. Allow. That's my eyeball.
How's that? Fix that.
There you go. There we go. The names have been stripped. All the identifiers have been stripped out of the things that go into the paper. But the paper does list the funniest things that people see or report to the local police department in Greeley, Colorado. Listen, I'm going to lean back in a sec so you can get the full effect of our costume designer. You have been watching way too much Project Runway.
I was just watching a drag show, David.
Even more.
Oh,
Yes.
wow, David.
Look there. Yes.
Take off the gold hat. The gold has too much in it.
Well, the hat's off anyway. There it is.
Oh, that's much better. That's more classy.
This is.
Look at that's classy.
Yeah.
That screams class.
This is, yes.
That's tasteful.
Yeah.
That's tasteful. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
What then?
I don't know where that. Okay, 1 second.
Okay, this is slipping off my head. That's bad. All right.
Hold on.
Oh, even light the lights, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, it's New Year's Eve. It's December 31st, 2024 in the DAVERHOOD. So we're going to do a best of Greeley Times for you. I went through the past year's worth of Greeley Times things that were in the paper in our Coplog-based segment. And it's on the side there. You got to pull it all the way up. Yeah, it's hard to find. Where is it? Yeah. There we go. And so these are elements. These were things that we've already done on the show this year. But I'm going to remind you of some of the funniest ones, our favorite ones, from Greeley Times.
Recapping.
So, are you ready, dear? Are you ready for the phone calls? I don't know if I
You
can
have
put a
tape.
phone near my head.
Here, you want to use the.
Wait, I can use the chicken phone. I've got the
Okay,
chicken phone handy.
Use the chicken with the bow. I have one with the bow I gave you, special.
One with a bow.
Yeah.
A chicken with a bow. Oh, it came off. The bow's here. There's the bow. I'm gonna. Yeah, here's a chicken with two
You
bows.
love tape here.
I love it. Oh, it's just sticking to my neck. It hurts. And remember Dick Clark used to do a show on there? Yeah, now you're watching this. If you wonder how our society has declined, here it is. Here it is. But I've got my chicken phone.
No, wrong way, honey.
Oh, the chicken goes in there. So I need the phone call. Can you put the phone on the hook? Oh, there it is. Okay. Now this is both a news alert, and I find this as one of the all-time great.
Is that hurting your face?
A little bit, but I can live. I'll live.
Move it back.
I have 365 days to get over the indents in my head. There we go. So I love this.
Okay.
This is brand new. This is a new call in. I've saved this one for today. A caller on H Street said he was the victim, quote.
Hey, but you look like that's your orthodonture. That lights look like orthodonture. Look.
Well,
It looks like your braces. It's hanging like orthodonture.
well, if it was down here like Wendy Testerberger on South Park. So anyway, a caller on H Street said he was the victim of, quote, a biological chemical attack.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
After he got really sick from eating a Lunchable from the food bank.
Lunchables are not meant to be eaten with anyone that's over 3, I think. Right?
I think if you eat a Lunchable, you know there's chemicals in there. You're going to be attacked by
I
chemicals.
would think the Lunchables are not like.
Yeah,
That's
pretty great.
You're taking your life in your hands. But,
gotta admit, that's pretty cool.
yeah, I think.
I think we have another call. I'll get this on the chicken phone in my other ear. A caller on 10th Avenue said that a strange man answered his mother's phone and then threatened to kill him with a blowtorch.
Wow.
And says,
I
mean, some people do object to spam and unknown calls, but
that's a little. I mean, I'm listening to the one about the girl who's being abducted, in the Vatican.
Oh yeah.
And the kidnappers really didn't have a plan. And this guy doesn't sound like. Sounds a little bit much like overkill, right? It's like.
He's like, I'm gonna hurt you with what's the nearest thing? Where's the girl? Okay, blowtorch. I'm gonna hurt you with a blowtorch.
Not too much, right?
Oh, another call. Another call. This is a
Take
call.
off the gold one, honey. One that's gonna hurt you. It looks painful.
Yeah, this is okay. We'll put him on in a little while later on in the show. So and plus my hat is like.
Your hat looks like when they what's the thing they wear?
What?
The trafal.
Oh, it looks like a tefillin.
Yeah.
And ironically, being incredibly Jewish as I am, this particular thing is like barbed wire. It gets caught on everything. So I've got tefillin and barbed wire. It's the ultimate Jewish New Year. A caller on 45th Avenue said that a man was holding a jug of lemonade and screaming at people.
One hopes.
I bet he was screaming, "This is not lemonade!"
Oh God.
That's what I'm betting he was screaming. I'm telling you. Oh Lord. Do you want to do one or two of these?
No, sweetie.
Oh, okay. A call. Oh.
Where's the chicken phone?
I've got the teeth phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. A caller. Why are you watching? Why am I doing this? A caller on East 25th Street said that two men, one elderly with an oxygen tank, came to her house claiming to be police officers.
David, what's happening here? Hold your back.
Oh God. Oh.
So it's wrong. Like I understand. Like
It was like he's literally the cop is like, you have the right to remain silent. Something snapped off my head there.
It was the dreidel thing.
And by the way, the two men who came in, they started taking pictures and left immediately when she called 911.
Why are they taking showing pictures. That's even more creepy.
Everything about that is messed up.
It's so wrong.
Oh.
There's nothing right about it.
Oh gosh. Do we have another? I think we have another call coming in. Do we? We do. This is a caller at an apartment complex on 10th Street
Yes.
who said that an upstairs neighbor lets a dog pee
Yeah.
on the porch, and it leaks down to
Well,
her own
this
porch.
is a reminiscence one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the guy had in the cup.
Oh, it wasn't a dog. Maybe it wasn't a dog.
Mm.
I just, if you want to be a good neighbor, just buy an umbrella.
Yeah. Or just buy diapers for the dog.
Oh,
They have doggy diapers. If you wore diapers, he'd make doo-doo pee-pee in the diaper.
This is true. Like I do every day. So,
At least you try.
true. Somehow I leak out of it. No, I'm kidding. Hey, we have another call. I'm going to get it on the Dragle phone.
Where is it?
Dragle phone. Okay. Oh, good. It's dry and ready. Here we go. A caller on 3rd Street said that someone's pet turtle showed up at her house,
Oh.
and she wasn't sure where it came from or what to do with it. I'm guessing it was just from across the street, and it started crawling 3 days earlier.
It was a slow one.
The good thing is the hair followed shortly thereafter, so there you go. Except that at 12:15 p.m., same day, a caller on 42nd Avenue said his daughter was walking to school and passed a decapitated rabbit on the sidewalk.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not one to split hairs.
Wait. My drums are breaking.
Oh, nicely. Yeah. You got it going on. We have one more Greeley best of.
Marie's very concerned. She says, please explain the meaning of your hat or whatever that is.
Marie, the meaning of the hat, well, it's kind of hard to see. It says Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And these say cheers. And when they turn around later in the night, they're going to say Happy New Year too.
Explain for Marie that the hat here, hold.
And it's really, the hat is not so much for me. It really is more for Potato. Here's Potato's hat.
Yes.
With the Happy New Year moniker on it. Happy New Year, Marie. Happy New Year, everybody. And happy to give you one more Greeley time in our Greeley Times from our best of for our year-ending show. A caller at the Greeley Mall said her daughter's teacher called saying her daughter was making inappropriate gestures.
Remember this, yeah.
Yeah. The caller asked the teacher several times to show her what the gesture was. Well, then the teacher made the gesture, and the caller got extremely upset, saying the teacher should not have done that in front of her daughter.
She shouldn't have.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Well, maybe they'll make a gesture piece at each other following that. But anyway, that was the best of Greeley Times for the year of 2024, as we are here on our year-ending and New Year beginning special 973rd episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebook, your podcast, your program on the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, all of you watching at home. I want to give a shout out also to a couple of people we wanted to be on the program but couldn't this year. For example, Leah Forster, the comedian, who wishes us all a happy Kratzmich, Carol Hollingbeck, Ronald Rand, our beloved theater friend, as well as playwright John Pielmeyer, who, they wanted to do it, they just couldn't be on the program. We are with them, and they are with us in spirit. But it's time for another guest in the Daverhood, one of our favorite people here on the show. This is a guy who has been on, and usually wins.
Oh, yeah, always.
Our Today, Yesterday quizzes. Not always. I'd say about 7 or 8 out of 10 times.
I'd say
David Sheward is the man to beat in the Today, Yesterday quizzes. He's also a writer, of course, a theater critic for many, many years. He wrote a book about George C. Scott as well. A very fine and funny man. So we're going to share our screen again. Make me real tiny. Open this up and get rid of that. And then find David. Where is he? You can see the whole list of people that I'm just going to be grabbing here. David Sheward. In the David was also the managing editor for many years of Backstage. So, a lot to talk about with our beloved David Sheward. Well, long-time listeners and viewers of the DAVERHOOD will recognize this man, David Sheward, because he's done tons of our Today Yesterday quizzes. He's also been on whenever we've had a Tony Awards show because he is the theater guy. He writes theater reviews for culturaldaily.com as well as totaltheater.com, and he's also started putting reviews on his blog, The David Desk, where he also writes about such things as The Carol Burnett Show. And then what other things are on the David Desk? David?
Oh, well, just this week, whatever grabs me in popular culture, just this week, it is kind of roundabout. On my Facebook page, I watched one video of the Flintstones, and now I'm inundated with clips from the Flintstones. And I discovered that a lot of the voice actors on the Flintstones also did radio in the 1940s. Oh. So I did a sort of a blog on actors who did both radio when radio was in its when radio drama and comedy was in its heyday in the 1940s and early 50s, and then later transitioned to cartoons because they could create so many different characters with their voices.
Of course, like May Questel. She wasn't on the Flintstones, but she came out.
She was Olive Oil, yeah. And she also did Betty Boop, and she was in Funny Girl. Yeah, she played Mrs. Straykosh, the meddling friend of Fanny's mother.
Now, sorry, please, yeah.
And B. Benaderet, who did Betty Rubble, also was on Petticoat Junction and did dozens of voices on the Flintstones in addition to Betty.
By the way, do we notice how much this man just knows off the top of his head, David? And now, how was your 2024?
Oh, it was very interesting. It was a very interesting year. I retired from teaching, and I'm concentrating on writing with the blog, the David Desk blog. I determined to get up to 200 postings in the year, and I just did it. I posted blog number 200 recently, and I'm working on, before the new year, I want to get over 200 so that it's a goal to shoot for in 2025.
Oh, congratulations, by the way. So, what was your favorite column that you wrote of this past year?
Oh, a lot of different. I will take a topic and try and write different variations. I returned to the Carol Burnett Show for one item about, I dug up, when I was visiting some from friends in Florida, I went to a Salvation Army, what do you call them?
Thrift store?
Thrift store, yeah. And I found a DVD of Carol's episodes for $1, and I wrote a blog about the various episodes that were on that particular DVD. I started looking at the films of John Ford because he's touted as he's supposed to be the greatest director ever. He's the only director to win 6 Oscars. And so I hadn't seen all of his films, so I started looking at some of his films and writing blogs about them and how.
Is he living up to the reputation? I mean,
yeah. He was probably the most influential Hollywood director, but a son of a bitch to work with, really. So how that sort of followed along, and very alcoholic, tormented, possibly closeted, repressed gay. Possibly, Maureen O'Hara says she saw him in an embrace with another man in her biography after he was long dead. So whether or not that's...
So is this skeleton basically embracing, like...
No, while he was still alive. She saw it. Claimed she saw it while he was alive. And that would explain a lot about it. So that I think is that's what I've been writing about. In addition to reviews of everything I see and news of what's coming up.
Well, can I ask you, in fairly recent months, like last couple of weeks, what's like the best thing you've seen on or off Broadway?
Oh, probably Gypsy, the current revival, the 6th Broadway rendition of this classic musical. And in my review, I called it a theatrical miracle because you think that, oh, Gypsy again, how many times can they do this thing? But it's the first, up to now, all the revivals have been, well, the original was directed by Jerome Robbins. And with the exception of the Bernadette Peters revival, which was directed by Sam Mendes, all of them have been directed by Arthur Lawrence, the author of the book.
Right.
And all of the previous productions featured Jerome Robbins' original choreography. And this production has George C. Wolfe doing his own staging, doing it his own way, and Camille A. Brown is the first choreographer to do new choreography for Gypsy. And some people have been grumbling, oh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's totally new, it's totally different, and Audra McDonald, she's always amazing. And some people say, like, oh, people just like her, and they'll give her an award for drawing a breath. And she has the record of 6 Tony Awards. Right. But I would not be surprised if she won a 7th, and she would deserve it. Wow. It's just an incredible performance. She finds new things in Rose that it's just an amazing performance, and you think that no show deserves the hype, this fantastic hype. Nothing can be that good, but it is. It really is an amazing production. And Audra McDonald is just amazing. She's the most incredible performer, both as a singer and an actress, and she delivers an incredible performance.
Well, David Sheward, you are pretty incredible and amazing yourself. Remember that we can read him at culturaldaily.com as well as totaltheater.com and on his blog, The David Desk. Last question for you before we let you go. Is there any big thing you're expecting in 2024, like travel or something exciting in your life?
Oh,
it's coming up.
In my life, I'm going on a cruise. I'm going on a cruise with my brother to Bermuda. It was going to be a classic movie cruise where they were going to show old movies, but not enough people signed up for it. So I said to my brother, well, let's just go anyway. Let's see. I'm looking forward to theatrically. Dead Outlaw was off Broadway last season, and it won several awards for Best Musical from the Drama Desk and the New York Drama Critics Circle and the Outer Critics Circle. No, I'm sorry. Yes, it did win that. And it's transferring to Broadway. It became when the Longacre opened up after Swept Away closed. They rushed in and grabbed it. So that should be very interesting. It's really unconventional. It's a very unusual musical about the corpse of an outlaw, a minor outlaw in the Wild West, and the journey that it makes, and it winds up mummified.
Winds up hugging a man while Maureen O'Hara is watching. It's a
yes,
thing,
and it winds up on an amusement ride, a haunted house ride on an amusement pier.
Cool.
So it sort of it makes comments about pop culture, about celebrity culture, about the public's fascination with death. So that type of on Broadway, a Broadway musical for people who want just entertainment. So it should be really interesting to see how it does.
If they brought Hedwig and James Joyce's The Dead as musicals to Broadway, that could make it too. But David Sheward, hoping to see you at the theater all year long. Wishing you a wonderful cruise. Wishing you and your husband a terrific 2025. And thank you so much for joining us this morning in the DAVERHOOD.
Happy New Year, everybody.
David Sheward in the DAVERHOOD. So from Dave to Dave, you're watching our annual, really it has been annual for many, many years now, our annual DAVERHOOD New Year. We're ending 2024, we're going into 2025. I'm going to stay shrunk in your little corner so we can bring on, bring on our next guest in the DAVERHOOD to top out our hour.
Boy.
Oh, yeah, we love her.
Does she have her little friend?
No puppet. Nothing.
You can use my slipper.
Okay. Because this is, a lot of times she performs and does things with,
yes.
I think it's a bear she uses or something.
I don't know, was it something? It meant something. I'm going to put Dr. Sue and her animal right
Dr. Sue Horowitz, public speaker and also a songwriter.
Horowitz and her animal.
Let's bring her into the DAVERHOOD to cap up our first hour of DAVERHOOD New Year.
The doctor is in. Yes, it's Dr. Sue, a.k.a. Dr. Susan Horowitz, our beloved guest who did a bunch of our Today, Yesterday trivia quizzes and also has been on the program a time or two as well. She is back in the neighborhood. I love your background, Dr. Sue. What is that behind you?
I'll tell you it's behind me. It's a Shakespearean theater. And I thought it was beautiful. I love the colors, the ruby reds and the golds. And I'm so glad that you like it too. That's what it is.
Go figure out like something involving theater and Shakespeare. Who knew? But Dr. Sue, one of the things that you did, if we get a chance and if Facebook and YouTube will allow us to, at some point during the show, we're playing the song that you wrote. So what is the song and how did you come to write it?
The song is called All That We Love. And this song is based on the true story of my life because the story of the song is how I grew up as a Jewish minority child in a public school, but the school was overwhelmingly Christian. And we had this big tree, and I think as a child, remember looking at this tree in awe. It was just so big, and it filled the whole lobby. It was amazing to me. And so I felt like, there's this big tree and there's little me, That's kind of how I felt. And so I told the story of the tree. And it's sort of poignant, but it's also a little humorous because I said, and Jews, there was me. There was
What's
me.
the name of the song? Remind us, what is the song called?
This song is called All That We Love.
All That We Love, yeah.
Because it begins with that true story of how it was for me as a child. And then the chorus is, may peace in the world fly like a dove. May all of us celebrate all that we love.
All of them. I almost want to leave it there, but we actually have a couple more minutes with Dr.
Sure.
So tell me, Doctor, so what was one of the good things? So many people that I'm talking to are depressed about politics. But
Yeah.
what's something good that happened in 2024?
A good thing. I started, yes. I started developmental rehearsal workshops for my musical Rainbow to Oz. That is a really good thing.
Yes.
And 2025 is the 125th anniversary of the publication of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. So 2025 is, I'm hoping to do events all year, Oz-related events, because it's the Quasquicentennial.
Well, I don't know, a musical based on the Wizard of Oz characters. Do you think there's any money in that? Do you think people...
I'm hoping there's money on it. It's not actually the Wizard of Oz. It is a modern story about a grown-up woman named Dorothy.
All right.
Who has a dream. And I shouldn't tell you any more than that, but it's really the story of this modern Dorothy. So it's a semi-sequel. And it has some of the characters that are like the Oz characters, but they're all a bit different. And there's romance, and there's, so it's for all ages. It's for grown-ups, it's for kids. And this producer said to me at one point, she said to me in this sort of, cynical way, she said, don't you think that Oz is, what was the word she used? Something like played out, saturated. That was the word she used. Don't you think that Oz is oversaturated? And I said, Oz does not saturate. And about a month after that, the movie Wicked hit. So I felt very, I felt justified.
Well, you're a songwriter, you're a theater creator. I hope that you have lots of workshops and lots of development of this new musical and that we get to see it in 25, maybe 26. These things can take a little time.
They can.
Please keep us posted in the neighborhood on the progress of your show and let our viewers know. And
I would love to. Maybe we can do little bits of it on your show.
Maybe we could. Dr. Susan Horowitz,
hey.
So good to see you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's not Rosh Hashanah. It's another type of New Year. But still, Happy New Year.
We'll take it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
How can someone be that joyful? I should only be that joyful. I've got a good life.
I think she felt that way after she killed Tedley.
Let me see if I can stop my share there. Okay. So we have a couple of minutes before we bring in our next guest, and we have so many more wonderful guests in the Neighborhood on our Neighborhood New Year special. We're in our second hour here on our 973rd show. It is, of course, 12/31/2024. Just 2 hours remaining in this annum before we begin the year of 2025. So how you feeling, my wife? she's
choked on apple skin.
That'd be a horrible way to end the year.
I literally had to remove the apple skin from my trachea.
Oh my
God.
Yeah, you have issues with fruit and veggies. Like carrots make you cough like crazy. I don't know why that is. You're not allergic. It's just like the physical, the hardness.
I'm not vegetarian, David.
That could be. And I'm drinking, of course. My wife brought me, kind of her, the delicious Virgil's. It really is. It's the most expensive one, but it is the best. So for New Year's, I'm treating myself, or my wife is treating me
it's
too.
not root beer, it's vanilla cream. That's fancy.
So good. And it blows pretty good too. Check this out. Oh, it's too full. I'll have to blow on it later when it goes down, because it really would be good for like an orchestra. But not yet.
I'm trying to chew, David. I can't actually focus hard on that.
Well, that's okay, because we have another guest coming into the neighborhood. We have a bunch of guests, including some live ones, this hour. And you won't find a livelier one than our great friend Eva Heinemann. Now, Eva, she's a long time theater critic. She has a show called High Drama that you'll find on Manhattan Neighborhood Network in New York, and also posted on Facebook and YouTube, places like that. This has been like for a lot of other people, it's been a rough year for her. Not just politics and everything like that, but she had knee replacement surgery just a couple of weeks ago, and she is in rehab. It's not something you get over in 3-4 days and they send you home.
She asked me if she should go to rehab. I said,
No. They tried to make her go to rehab,
yes.
But she's in there, and seems like a really nice place, and she does get to do her show, and she gets to do my show, so we are thrilled.
Does she have a private room, I hope?
I hope so.
I hope she does. Her poor neighbor will be like, what the heck?
Yeah, or she's worked out. She's such a sweetie that I'm sure that, oh, great. Can I be on your show?
Yeah.
So let's share the screen again and make myself little tiny me again, or tinier than I am normally. And we'll go and get Eva Heinemann in the neighborhood, all the way from, quite literally, wait, where is it? From rehab on the Dave's Gone By program.
As we bring to an end the year 2024, we can roll back something like 25, 30 years or so that I have known this person that you're looking at. Her name is Eva Heinemann. We kind of started as theater critics together, and over the years she has developed her bi-weekly program called High Drama, and it's H-I exclamation point drama, because she brings that joy and energy into seeing theater not just on Broadway, but off Broadway too. Now, she is not in her home. She's not even in a Broadway theater at the moment. Where are you right now, Eva?
I'm in West Village Rehab Center. It's right across from Film Forum in New York City, because not only is it a new year, I've given myself a new knee.
Yeah, when you tell people rehab, they're thinking, my God, what drug were you on? But no, you're...
nothing that pleasant. In fact, you get to take drugs here. That's a nice thing.
Well, how bad, I mean, in other words, was your knee out for a long time and it took, you finally got to have it done?
Oh, it was so awful. I mean, I could not sit in the theater. I mean, I was in such pain that, and it's like, anything that distracts me from going to the theater, is bad. I mean, the fact that I've gone over 3 weeks without going to the theater is like, I'm surprised I'm not in withdrawal right now. And that's why I'm in rehab, because I'm not going to theater withdrawal.
Well, how much, you have to be there another week and a half or two, or how long are you going to be in there?
Till January 9th.
Oh, geez. And then how long before you can resume normal-ish New York?
I have no idea, but, I'm still going to run around with, I have a walker and I accessoride and, this is so boring. Anyway, let's talk about more interesting things.
Wait, was it just one knee? Is your other knee okay? Or do you have to do that at some point down the road?
I will never do this again. I'll tell you right now, a warning to all you people out there, when people say, I had knee replacement surgery and now I can leap tall buildings and cross mountains in a single bound. They don't tell you about the process, which is insanely painful and time-consuming and grueling and horrible. But in the end, I will be able to go to the theater and sit without pain. I'll be able to walk around in the rain without agony. So in the end, it will be a good thing. It's just getting there.
And
it's like happy.
Yeah, some of those adjectives you used could be applied to some of the shows that you see on Broadway over the years.
One in particular. You want to talk about the worst thing I've ever... Okay, you know how much I hate Ivo van Hove.
Yeah.
I just despise him.
He's a director, by the way, folks. Yeah.
And there's this other director named Jamie Lloyd, who I think he studied under the master of Ivo van Hove and wants to copy him. So before I even saw it, I says to Mark, who loves Ivo van Hove and all that pretentious European garbage shit, excuse my language, oops, edit that out. Anyway, in fact, I got kicked out of Facebook because of the way I eviscerated this show. But I said, you're going to love it. I'm going to hate it. It's one of these directorial things that he doesn't care about the show, the script, the plot, the characters, nothing. It's all about me. I'm a great director. Look how innovative I am. Oh my gosh, I'm wonderful, aren't I? Who cares about the story? I'm brilliant director Jamie Lloyd.
Yes, and which show are we talking about? Is that not Cabaret, is it? Or which is...
No, Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, so sorry, it's Sunset, right.
Yeah, and then Nicole, who, you can see her on YouTube singing, that famous song from which I can never remember the name of it. But anyway.
We Never Said Goodbye, that one?
Yeah, that one. We Never Say Goodbye. You can hear her sing it beautiful, with the volume down, and she's really quite good. But on stage, they have her overamped and screaming at us. They have these video cameras doing these black and white, weird, like perfume angles, and it's like ridiculous. It's very presentational, and then no one's dressed in 1949. They're wearing black and white exercise clothes. It was so horrible.
No, Eva, we do want to make time because we don't want to go out on a bad note. What was the most fun, best thing you saw?
Okay. This is by far the best thing I've ever seen. It's like when people ask me what to see, I just say, I don't care how much money, drop everything, go see Maybe Happy Ending with Helen Shen and Darren Criss, and bring a box of tissues with you because it was just so incredibly moving. Who knew robots could be so moving?
Whoa.
It was fantastic. The story, it reminded me of last year with William Jackson Harper and Primary Trust. It's just one of these things that grabs you by the heartstrings and just like, and there's always now this is good direction because there were little tiny touches, like this one little bit that I can't even tell people about and I wouldn't anyway because it's a spoiler alert. And I just start to cry just thinking about it. And everyone else does too. They all say when he does this, they're like, oh.
Okay, don't spoil it because I'm hoping to get to New York in a couple of weeks and I'm hoping to see it. So
yeah, that's the one to definitely see.
Maybe Happy Ending, and we certainly wish a most happy, not an ending, but an ending to your current rehabbing of your knee, and that you're back springing across aisles to many theaters in New York. Eva Heinemann, happier, certainly, New Year in 2025 to you, and thank you so much for being back with us in the DAVERHOOD.
Oh, I wouldn't miss your show for anything, especially on New Year's Eve. It's always so festive.
Thank you.
Bye.
Eva Heinemann in the DAVERHOOD, ladies and gentlemen. So delightful to have her on the program as we've had for so many times, either playing our Today, Yesterday quiz. This one, there we go. Or during our theater shows, our Tony Award specials. Plus, we've had her on. Oh, you okay, babe? That was my wife choking on an apple and sneezing.
I sneezed. I think I peeled.
That's good to know.
And now I feel like my eyes are stuck. I can't be allergic to an apple. Look at my eyes.
Yeah, well, because we're sneezing. Of course you're going to be. I'm going to sneeze again. I can see it.
What happened?
I don't know. When you eat fruit and vegetables, stuff goes on. See, you should be like me and eat potato chips and ice cream and pretzels and bacon.
Isn't your cousin Adam joining us?
I'm waiting for him.
Oh, let me see. Oh, wait, I gotta go on your phone. I gotta get off this. Hold on.
Yeah, let me check my Facebook.
How do you speak with him?
He should be on Zoom. So.
No, but I mean, how do you engage him? You text him, email him, what?
Oh, he's on literally message on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna look.
I'm pretty sure. So see if I got a message from him because we're waiting for.
He says, Dave, I am having trouble with Zoom.
Oh.
Oh no. No.
Does he leave a phone number or something? Oh, Adam.
Oh, it's asking for a passcode.
Oh, jeepers! Really? Yikes! He's the only one. I can send it to him.
Give it to me and I'll. Okay.
Well, I can't. How can I get it? I can. Let me write it down. I know how I can do
write it down and I'll type it for him.
Okay.
One sec.
I'll be with you in a second, folks. Code is
passcode.
Okay.
Of course, I'm having sneeze fest.
So now, already. Oh, everything was going so smoothly, and now we have to recalibrate.
Is this one? Wait, is it the 7 one?
Whatever it's asking for. There's an ID and then there's a code. Might be the second number.
He's probably doing it on his phone.
Oh, yeah, which means that if he's coming by telephone, it's probably doing that. So maybe what I'll do is let me recalibrate and find someone else.
Wait, no, yeah, he's going to go there. There it is.
Okay, I just need to. Well, while we're vamping, ladies and gentlemen, remember that you can watch older episodes of Dave's Gone By at davesgoneby.com. Excuse me, DAVES. Wait a minute. Someone just. You know what? I'll get her first. Our 1015 just logged in.
Give him a sec.
Well, they're both going to be on together anyway.
Oh, they are? Okay.
I mean, for part of the time. So, or it could be him. Let's see.
Wait.
Let's see who.
It might be him with another name.
We're just gonna do it because we have a guest in the neighborhood.
The next people are taped.
So let's see. Maybe it's. Hold on. I see a spinny wheel. And see who can. I'll ask to unmute. I'll ask to show their camera. This is interesting.
You can see by the name.
It just says iPhone Susan.
Oh, that's Susan Horowitz, probably.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Susan Horowitz, your voice got deep.
But can you get your video on, Adam?
There we go. I hope so.
There we go. All right, welcome. You made it.
I have to go back on the Facebook.
Well, half of me did anyway. How are you?
And then Brandon, what's his name? You just got another one from Brandon S. Maggart.
Yeah.
He said, may I please have a copy of my clip? I'd like to post it.
I'll deal with that later. I pre-taped him. So, Brandon Maggart coming up later in the show. But right now we have
Wonderful.
Adam Glass. You look so much better. I got to say, you look like hell last year when we talked to you on the show. You were in a bad place a year ago. Now you look really good.
He was in Newark?
How are things? How has 2024 been for you, man?
Loaded question. So hold on. I'm very grateful for many things. Just get out of the way. My father passed away in September.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Listen. It was kept by his wishes, very low key, and so I knew you would ask, so I just put it out there, and it is, and he is thankfully no longer in pain, and he is at peace, and when is there a good time? So, and if anyone would understand, you of course would, and so that kind of marred a little bit of the year, as you might imagine, but otherwise, my general rule is I'm vertical and I'm above ground, so I'm 2 for 2 on the day.
There you go. Okay. How's your daughter?
She just finished her first semester at law school, and she's doing well and happy. So, and she still talks to me.
Up and down. So, are you at work today? Because I know you do computer kind of networky things. You got the logo
it
of?
Looks like Ghostbusters. Are you a Ghostbuster?
Apparently, I do. So, I'm not at work. I forgot to take off my work shirt. I was working today. I'm a member of Local 3, Electricians Union in New York, and I'm the subgroup that I'm part of is we specifically deal with low voltage and life safety and security and access control and things like that.
Wow.
So
Have you ever seen anybody get like shocked and get really like zapped?
closer than I wish. At least once it was me. So
Really, you yeah.
well, it hurts. So I would strongly suggest against doing it. Just a personal note. I was very lucky. I was working on some 277 in the ceiling, and the predecessors had not properly taken care of the wiring, and so and by the way, rule one: never trust other people when they tell you they've shut off the power, because either A, they lie, or B, they're wrong. So in this case, both were probably true. I was on a 10 or 12-foot ladder working in a ceiling, and went to work on the wiring and pulling it out, and we were changing the wiring around, and the box went on fire, and the ceiling went on fire, and consequently my hand went on fire, and there were people sitting below me, and of course I am trying to quietly and gently put the fire out. What's that smell? No,
With
there's
your
nothing.
hand?
Everything's fine. Well, it was already on fire, so it seemed to put it up. But just seemed like a good idea at the time, and there weren't a lot of options.
Oh,
So,
wow.
you
No,
know.
no. The option at that point is get down off the ladder, scream, and cover your hand, and don't worry about the fire in the ceiling.
That's true. I actually opted for a moment of maturity, something else I probably wouldn't repeat, but at the moment it seemed like a good idea, because running screaming through a crowded room with your hand on fire, even though Mel Brooks would have found it funny, I didn't know if I could carry it off. So I decided to put everything out, not create a panic, and keep my job. There was
I know,
that.
yeah, right. Do you
Yeah,
have
you keep my
do
job.
you still have a lingering scar or burn, or it went away? Wasn't it?
Thankfully that went away, but the memory remains.
Yeah, it keeps you cautious.
Very, very, very. Hence why I went to the low voltage side, because even though it only requires like 50 millivolts of DC going across the heart to cause it to stop, I
God.
generally avoid that part too. So, or
Rubber.
something along those lines.
Wear rubber everything. Why don't you just wear like one of those sex rubber suits?
I find it very difficult to work with the very little wires. I can't get the package.
Now,
As we all have been complaining about, you can't feel a thing. So, just
hello. So
wait, this is your show. I mean, yes.
oh,
Yes, go ahead.
absolutely. So, one more question before we go, and
Yeah.
since you brought it up, and it can be happy or not or whatever, but
Sure.
some memory of your dad.
About God, it was about 15 years ago. Now, my father loved trains. And we all had memories of him with trains. When we were very little, we would go to see train museums and things like that. And I'd say about 20 or so years ago, we went to Steamtown in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and we got to ride some antique trains and see the steam locomotives, do all kinds of things. But then about 15 years ago, before my father was hit by a truck and got hurt and couldn't walk and everything else. Yeah, listen, my father just got.
Yeah.
My father defied death 100 times, and he laughed. Anyway, but before age finally got him. But I shouldn't mock like that. I'm sorry. Anyway, about 15 years ago, so we all finally got to go to Essex, Connecticut. Wonderful place where we all learned how to drive steam trains, and every one of us got an opportunity to drive a 40-ton steam train on live track in Essex, Connecticut. Nobody got hurt, so it was a win. But it was just one of those wonderful times where we all got to be together and really got to enjoy something that we didn't often get to do as a family, other than, of course, Passover, breaking the fast, and Yom Kippur. But this was the three sons and our father. It was a rare thing, so it's a wonderful memory.
Yeah, man. And I gotta say, it's great to see you. It's great for you to get our new year on the right track, if you will, using that continuous metaphor there. And again, I only wish you a happier 2025. Good things for you.
Thank you.
Good things for you too. Health and all good things. And hoping to see you, if not before the new year, certainly a year from now, but probably before.
Well, the fact is, I certainly I don't have to use the word very lightly, stalk you on Saturday mornings, but I get to, look in and go, oh, he's doing well. That's wonderful. So please, my love to your wife and to your mother and to everyone, and stay well and healthy, please. And to the potato. Don't forget the potato. And all good things for you, my friend,
You
my
too.
cousin, my buddy.
Love to everyone. Love to your family.
And-
Thank you,
and to you.
Adam Glass.
Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Adam Glass in the neighborhood. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, on the Dave's Gone By Facebook, podcastio, programmio of the stream.
Hold Al, but go to Ricky.
Yeah. Well, Ricky's a live person.
Ricky's a live person coming at 10:25.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to load in, instead of Al, because he's a bit longer than, I would have just enough time to do.
Could you throw me a pen so I could copy and let it copy?
Yeah, I'm also going to need my copy of
Okay.
the schedule too. But here's,
Do I have it? Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
here's
Here,
a
no, take
pen,
yours.
Traja, and I'll get my pen. But what we'll do is we'll go a little bit late with some other people just so we can get
You have
on.
a pen?
I've got this.
good,
Okay.
good.
What we do, Yaron Gershovsky. Yaron Gershovsky is a musician. He was in Manhattan Transfer for many years. He was just on the show a couple of months ago. And so, Yaron, let's get rid of that. Let's open this up. Let's share again. Share again.
Yeah, share alike.
Share alike. So, Yaron Gershovsky, a musician, making a lot of music still, and with us in the neighborhood. Let's make him big. And here he is. On the Dave's Gone By New Year's Eve special, ending 2024, with another person who was on the program this past year. He is a fine musician named Yaron Gershovsky. Is it Yaron or Yaron, or how do you pronounce it?
Yaron, yes.
Yaron, yeah. Gershovsky, he was in the Manhattan Transfer for many, many years, but he's also doing a lot of other musical projects. For example, what have you been doing this year?
Well, this year, among other things, I was doing, we released a record, Jenny Siegel and myself, that's called The Colors of My Life. And it's a record that is a tribute to the music of Cy Coleman, who is one of the great American composers, famous for songs he wrote for Broadway, and many of them became standards, like Witchcraft, The Best Is Yet to Come. And so we released a record that Janice and I toured Europe a couple of times, actually, with, and we toured in the US promoting this album. That
Do you have any fun stories from your tour? Any cool anecdotes that happened over the years?
Cool anecdotes? Well, I'll tell you. Basically, what I like to say is that touring is not work. The playing is not work. It's the schleppage and the flights, and try to make it on time. We had one show in Blue Note of Napa in California, and our flight was delayed by many hours. So basically, while we drove to the Blue Note, people were standing outside waiting to get in for the show because we missed the sound check. So we did the sound check fast while everybody was still standing outside on the street, and but they were very understanding and friendly. So that was kind of a nice thing.
Yeah.
So this was something that sometimes we encounter when we go on the road.
Of course.
And
any things that happened to you, not even musically, but just good things or funny, interesting things in your life in 2024?
Well, funny, interesting thing that happened is always when all my family gets together. And we have 3 daughters and 8 grandchildren. So when we all get together at the same place, it's always a fun occasion for us. So we enjoy that very much. And we just got together last week, celebrating the holiday and lighting candles together. And it was a lot of fun.
Yay. Well, that leads to our final question. What are you looking forward to in 2025?
I'm looking forward to more creative work. I'm working on my new album, a piano trio, and probably with some vocals, and getting involved in different musical projects. and being creative, practice the piano, and do some more music and put out there some more music out there for everybody to listen to and to enjoy.
Well, we can't wait. Yaron Gershovsky. So get the Cy Coleman album, which is called, remind us
The
again.
Colors of My Life. The Colors of My Life.
And
Jenny Siegel, Yaron Gershovsky.
Janice Siegel and Yaron Gershovsky. We wish both of you a most happy, healthy, and productive and creative new year. And we thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's great to be here, and thank you for having us.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. All the best.
Yaron Gershovsky in the neighborhood on our neighborhood New Year's show. Very excited to have such wonderful, fun, smart, talented, creative guests. And we just keep it going and we keep it going because I'm going to stop share here because we have a live guest who, not the one we were expecting, but we'll take the one that we have.
Ricky?
No, I'm not seeing Ricky, but I am seeing.
Let me go back if he needs the code.
Yeah.
Would he email you?
No, he'd probably be Facebook also.
Okay, let me go back.
But before he comes, we've got Jim Flaherty in the neighborhood. So James B. Flaherty, we will call him, he is an author. He's a former ad man, madman from back in the day. And quite literally, he was part of the madman era and ran major advertising campaigns out in Buenos Aires and for many years. So he's living his very best life. And remind us, please, Jim, oh, and also you need to unmute, please. So make sure your microphone is working there. Oh, yeah, you look much better.
Okay.
There you go.
Sound all right? Good.
How old are you again? Remind us, please.
How old am I? Well, right now I'm just a very young, spry. I hate that word, spry. A very young 89-year-old. In September, I'll be 90.
Wow, God willing. And you know, one of the things that amazes us about him is that for an 89-year-old, just wow. Now, you are dressed for sartorial splendor. Were you out and about doing New Year's things today?
No, we had a very quiet New Year's Eve. I had the house full of daughters and millennial grandsons and their wives all during Christmas. Now I just have one daughter with me, and we had a very quiet New Year's. Had one friend come over and had an early dinner, and since my nanny is out of town, I've got my dogs sleeping with me. No, I dress this way in winter. This is the way I dress in winter. I wear this. I walk the dog, so I put a hat on. I can take that off now.
Yeah, no, but you just have this look. Some people just know how to dress, and you got it, man. So, remind us, just a couple of weeks ago when you were on the show, you were telling us about your years as a madman, ad man.
Right.
It wasn't Young and Rubicam. Who was it for? Who you were the which company were you?
Well, I was creative director of Tinker, and then I worked for Wellsrich Green, and I worked for Young and Rubicam. And I was creative director of J. Walter Thompson in Buenos Aires, Argentina, for 4 years. That was interesting.
Tell us another story, one maybe that you didn't tell on our last thing, about working and living and being in Argentina, post-Perón, but,
it was wonderful. When I went there, Argentina was still way up here. It was sophisticated, Spanish-speaking Europe. The economy was good. It was sophisticated. It was very lovely. My last year in Argentina, the beginning of my last year, Perón came back and the Argentines reelected him. It was like the Germans reelecting Hitler. And he had his quote secretary, who had been I'm told, a nudie pole dancer in Panama. He called her the vice president. He died at the end of the first year by cancer of the part of you behind you, which I thought was very appropriate. And she, the pole dancer, became La Presidente of Argentina, a country which is as large as 1/3 of the size of the United States. Yeah. And at that point, the country had a 98% literacy. Ever since then, and that was in 1974, the country has been on a downhill slant because of governments. And it's been so screwed up. I hear from all of my Argentine friends, and they say, It's just been a living nightmare. But that last year, all we lacked were elephants and clowns. It was Barnum and Bailey time every day.
Wow. Wow. Now, before we let you go, we also want to remind people that you're a busy, busy writer. You have a
I am indeed. This was my last book, Embrace Your Age.
Mhm.
And I have a book coming out in February called Loving Longevity. I get away with this crap of talking about aging cheerfully and productively because I am. I mean, I remind people, the band won't stop playing till you stop dancing. So, get out there and dance, for Christ's sake. Do something. I have my daily schedule that I live up to every day. That's every line is a day. I keep that attached to my monitor. And so.
Are we the last thing on your schedule today, or do you actually have something after this?
No, today you are it, David. I've got the last thing. A video cast with my old friend David.
Well, my last thing is to wish you a most happy, incredibly healthy, and productive new year. I know you're also trying to find a literary agent and get your screenplays.
Right. By the way, real quickly before I leave you, I read a big study today about resolutions, and the 5 most popular resolutions. I thought, what a change in the world. Now, 4 of them were health related. They were in the order. The order was eat healthy, exercise more, lose weight. The one non-health was manage your financial matters better. And the 5th one was look at your mental health issues. Now, and I thought to myself, what the hell happened to having a resolution of a new job, a promotion, and then maybe a new car or a new love interest or a trip somewhere out of the country or, our inheritance or winning the lottery. But God, everything is.
Well, okay. I'll go back. I resolved to win the lottery this year. Doesn't even have to be the $1 billion lotto. I'll settle for a couple of mil.
Yeah.
I'll be most happy. It will be a successful year for me. I wish you much success and health. James B. Flaherty, thank you once again for being with us in the Daverhood.
David, thank you, friend. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. All right, so James B. Flaherty in the Daverhood.
He wrote, I'm at the ready, all saddled up. That's what he wrote when he was in the waiting room.
Nice.
He's a great writer. I love that. That's going to be, how about that could be our motto
all
for this year?
Saddled up.
I'm at the ready, all saddled up.
Love it. Well, also saddled up musically, in a way, in the Daverhood is our next guest coming to us. Now, this is someone, he hasn't been on in the past couple of years. We're thrilled to have him back. He is a writer, songwriter, and composer. He is also the grandson of legendary Hollywood and Broadway entertainer Eddie Cantor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping he can get into the Daverhood now because he's trying to get in there. Come on, guest, we can do it. We can do it because Brian Gari, he also had a show on Broadway called Late Night Comic, and since then he's put out a lot of albums of his clever, catchy songs. I'm sorry, what?
Late Night Catechism.
Did I say that? I'm sorry. It was Late Night Comic. Yeah. Oh, I hear him. And now we just need to see Brian Gari in the Daverhood.
How do I do this?
I'll give him a cue to open.
Start your video. Here's the thing. Click the button to start your video.
All right.
All right, Brian. And it looks like you're wearing a headdress. Are you?
I can't see anything now.
We see you. You look fine.
I see. Yeah. What the? Oh, you know what it is? It's the lighting. There.
It's like you're like a Tropicana girl.
Yeah.
What the heck?
All right. Well, at least we see you. And you're looking good. You're looking good, Brian Gari.
Thank
How are you? How was your 2024?
It was okay. Yeah, it was really good. I had a new album that came out. I can't remember if you got the album or not. It's called Your Side of the Bed.
Yeah, you bought it on Amazon. I mean, on Amazon, right?
No.
Well, that was the album from to the previous one of the previous one. I think this is a new one. But I think you sent it.
Does he have?
Well, you put out one almost every year, don't you?
Yeah, one a year. It's on eBay. That's where I do it. I used to do Amazon, but they got very haughty, and I don't do anything on Amazon anymore. It was easy at a time, but they got very crazy, and I just stopped it.
People used to do CD Baby a lot. Does that still exist?
Yeah, no, I used to work with them too, and then these companies are really like terrible for the recording artists.
Mm.
They don't really pay. It's very difficult to get paid, and so it's a lot easier on eBay now. I just put the stuff up and hope for the best.
Well, cool. Well, let me ask you, what of the songs that you wrote in 2024, which is your favorite?
I guess the title song, "Your Side of the Bed," is. I think it's very touching, and there are quite a few songs like that on the album that I'm very pleased about. I work with Peter Milrose here in New York, and his father was a very famous songwriter, Vic Milrose, who wrote songs for Elvis Presley, and he wrote "This Girl Is a Woman Now." That was Gary Puckett and the Union Gap.
Oh,
yeah. And he wrote a whole "I'll Try Anything" by Dusty Springfield. He had collaborators on these songs, So anyway, that's Peter's father, and Peter is extremely talented. He sings on my recordings. He does background parts. He plays pretty much every instrument. I do play occasionally. I play some keyboard, but mostly, and I wrote almost all the songs on a keyboard, but on piano. But I also play guitar, and he doesn't. So, but there are electronic ways of playing the guitar too these days, which kind of frightens me in a way, because I do like to participate
on a keyboard now. You can play harpsichord. You can play trumpet on a keyboard. You know that every voice.
Well, that's what we utilize on my albums, and it sounds real to me. I don't. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's fake stuff and everything," but if it sounds real to me, I utilize it, and Peter is brilliant at that.
Well, you are the arbiter. I mean, it's your music, and you know how you want it to sound and how you want it to feel. But let me ask you, Brian Gari, what else? What's been good for you in 2024, non-musically, like in your life, in your personal life, and just where you've been and what you've done?
Well, I'm married and have a great relationship with my wife, and I think it was like we did 14 years now, or something like that, 13 or 14 years.
Wonderful Jeannie Zappi.
Yeah, you know the song.
I do know the song, yes.
Yeah.
Play it fairly frequently here.
You do. I often get on YouTube and my songs pop up, and I click on them just to see, I don't play my music all the time for myself. Because, when I work on the albums, I listen to the stuff, really consistently to make sure that it's perfect the way it goes out. This is a whole new thing for me, because I spent so much time in my younger years recording demos and things where there was such a budget where I couldn't really finish the songs, in a demo form that I really was happy with sometimes, but a lot of the time the budget just did not allow me to really fix the things up. Now I'm going for perfection, and I just make sure that it comes out perfectly before it goes out. And plus, I put together booklets with the lyrics to all the songs.
Oh, so nice. Well, yeah. So you believe in the old school package. You get the songs, you get imagery, you get the booklets. I mean, it isn't just, hey, there's a thing on Spotify, let's listen.
Well, I can't stand it when people say to me, I'd love to hear your album, but I don't have a CD player anymore. Well, why not? I mean, it's a great format. It's very easy to use. Let me see if I can move over to here to show you my CD. Nah, I guess I don't really know how to do that exactly, but I have a CD player next to me on this couch, and every morning I listen to several CDs that I've bought that I want to hear. I mean, I listen to everything from folk music to classical music to Broadway shows to rock and roll, R&B, all kinds of great music on CD. And I buy this stuff. I believe in doing this.
Well, everybody go on eBay to find the CD by Brian Gari. And remember, it's Gari.
Right.
Brian Gari. And you're looking good. It's
well,
great.
Thanks.
And just thrilled that you've joined us in the neighborhood. I want to wish you a very, very happy and healthy 2025.
Thank you.
Hope to see you next year.
Yeah, and I hope everybody gets the new album, Your Side of the Bed.
Your side of the bed. I usually have to sleep on the wet spot, so.
Oh, okay. And it's great always being on your show.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye. Oh my God, Brian Gari in the neighborhood. Now we move to another longtime friend of mine, another theater critic, just like Eva Heinemann, just like David Sheward. Well, she was not so much of a theater critic, she's been a theater writer. But now she's more of a business writer and a wonderful longtime friend. It's Iris Dorbian in the neighborhood. Iris, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Happy New Year.
Happy almost, we got another almost a little over an hour, but happy almost New Year. Happy Hanukkah to you, by the way.
Oh, yes. Yeah, happy Hanukkah. Wow. Yeah, that this year it coincided with Christmas. My God, a milestone.
Those things happen. So how was your 2024, Iris?
It was actually pretty good. I mean, there were some lows. I did get COVID for the first time.
How bad? Was it a cold or was it like worse? Was it ugly?
Actually, the first day was bad. I had debilitating fatigue and it was terrible. But then afterwards, it kind of morphed into a very mild cold. But
okay. Yeah.
But still, it wasn't pleasant. I don't want to revisit the experience.
No, at some point we all will. But so what's the experience that you would revisit from 2024? You travel so much.
Yes, I did. I went to Prague and Budapest.
Is Prague the most beautiful city ever? I used to think so.
It's gorgeous. It's like a picture postcard. I mean, it's up there with Madrid and Paris in terms of beauty. The only thing is that when I went to Prague, it was like late March, and it was a little cold there. And at one point, one of those days I was there, it was raining, and it was just, and so that kind of took away the enjoyment. Although I did love it. I really enjoyed Budapest. I just really liked that laid back bohemian vibe that the citizens were giving off, which was kind of interesting considering they're being controlled by a dictator. So, but I really.
We won't be in a couple months in
about 20 days.
Right.
But, and then of course, and then let me see. I had a book that came out. This book that came out last year. See that? That's a.
It's. I don't know why your Zoom is blurring it, but it's called Next Stop Boston.
Next Stop Boston. Yes, and it won several awards. So that was really exciting. In fact, I wanted to show you.
Oh.
Here's one award.
Oh, look at that! It's like an Olympic medal. Cool. And that's from who?
And then this one, it's not, well, it's this one. And then I also got like certificate.
Wow.
And some other stuff. It was that was really nice because I never win anything. I've been at this racket for years and I have never won anything. I've seen other people win, but I've never won. So it was nice that I finally got to experience it.
Well, all those years in journalism, you're suddenly finding, fiction. Fiction is the way to go.
Fiction, yes. That's the way to go.
Iris' book is very, very enjoyable. It's all about this young girl. Well, you tell the quick synopsis.
It's a coming of age story that's set against the backdrop of a North American rock and roll tour pre-COVID, and it's loosely inspired by the Fellini classic La Strada.
Yeah. You don't necessarily have to keep that in mind while you read it, but there is some sort of thing of the. We won't miss it. Just get Next Stop Boston. Who's the publisher again, Iris? Who's the
Black Pawn Press.
Black Pawn Press.
Black Pawn Press. Like pawning like if you need to pawn like an expensive jewelry if you're broke.
So let me ask you, Iris, if I'm allowed to, because I'm one of those writers who doesn't talk or show anything until it's finished. But is there something that you're working on now that you can talk about?
Actually, yeah. I mean, there are two things. One, this was something that already got published. you know, that novel that I wrote that was inspired by my father's Holocaust experiences and living in a DP camp. It had a very rocky journey. It was originally published in 2017 by this small publisher, and then I got the rights back about a few years later because they were, you know, a little unethical. And then I ended up republishing it on Amazon, September 2020. Well, it's going to be republished in its third edition, repackaged with a nice professional looking cover. And it's picked up by a nice publisher, actually the publisher of my YA novel, Sentence to Shakespeare, Sunbury Press. It's going to be probably published like later in the spring. So I updated the preface to include, you know, little things that are very significant in, you know, modern Jewish history, particularly history of anti-Semitism. So that's in there.
Well,
and
there's no more anti-Semitism now. I mean, at least that.
Yeah. But I just finished. This was yesterday. A very, very rough first draft of a new manuscript.
Ooh, can you tell us anything yet? Can you, I mean, since you put the end on it, can you just give us a one-line elevator pitch on it?
Well, it definitely, okay, well, God, I don't know if I could give it like even a pitch. It's, I'll tell you like the little bit of the story. It's also about another rock star, but unlike the one in Next Stop Boston, this person is actually legendary and very, very successful. He's at the pinnacle of his profession. Whereas Des and Next Stop Boston, could only wish to be at this guy's level of success.
Des lost. I mean, Des, I've read the book, so I know that in Next Stop Boston, he had been at the pinnacle.
Yes, he did.
Substances.
But this character is an icon. It's kind of, okay, he's a figure that's inspired by John Lennon. And who was, you know, one of my heroes. I love the Beatles. And I just play with this precept. What would have happened to somebody like this character if he escaped that assassination attempt? If he escaped an assassination attempt, what would have followed? And of course, I fictionalize it, but the character is inspired by John Lennon. And there are parallels between this character's life and John Lennon's own life, although I don't think he's as dark as the real John Lennon. And, you know, and I do incorporate my crazy, twisted, warped sense of humor. Yes. And his wife, she's not really inspired by Yoko Ono. She's more inspired by Meghan Markle.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
And
do you have a title on the book yet? Because we've got to move to our next.
I mean, right now I'm playing with titles, and I have one title I was playing with is just something called "Tomorrow Always Knows," which is kind of a riff on a real life Beatles song. Tomorrow Never Knows, and this is Tomorrow Always Knows. So, it probably will go through many different changes. So.
Well, we can't wait to read that. We can't wait to read Next Stop Boston, not to mention Sentence to Shakespeare. And
No. An Epiphany in Lilacs. Epiphany in Lilacs, the third edition is coming out.
That one's coming out too, but also if you want to get Sentence to Shakespeare.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Iris Dorbian, sounds like you've had a pretty fabulous 2024. I only wish that 2025 is even better for you. Happy American Rosh Hashanah to you.
Thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful 2025.
Thank you, Iris. See you soon.
Take care. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, Iris Dorbian in the DAVERHOOD on the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz. That is my wonderful and adorable wife over there. We have in the DAVERHOOD someone, God bless her, she has joined early. I hope she's ready. I can kind of bring her on. The problem is she's opened up two different windows, so I'm not sure which one. Mindy.
Oh.
So Mindy's not due to be with us for a bit. I can get her on if she's. I hope she's not naked and not expecting the camera to be on.
You look for anything that says iPhone. That's the one you don't pick up. You pick up the one.
Well, one says Mindy/guest, and the other says Mindy Fradkin, aka guest.
All right, try one.
Let's see if she'll do it.
How do you correspond with her?
I'm admitting her. She entered the waiting room. Oh, this is the other one. Let's see if Mindy.
And she's going to get feedback if you do both.
Yeah, that's why I really am being very careful. Mindy Fradkin was also on our show not too long ago. And so let's see if we can get her up and running, and then we'll do some of the taped interviews later on in our New Year's broadcast. This is the 973rd episode of Dave's Gone By. Let me see if she's Facebook. I'm pretty sure. Can you tell her we're trying to get her in on one of her things?
What's the name?
Oh, wait. Don't have to. Here she is. Yay. Mindy Fradkin, hello. Oh, wait, you gotta unmute this thing.
Give her the cue.
Hold on. Can't hear you yet, Mindy. Unmute your mic.
Ask her.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah. Mindy?
Hi.
Hey, Mindy, how are you?
I'm just right, and so are you.
Happy New Year to you. Who is your friend?
This is Sparkle Queen.
Of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's my latest doll in my likeness from London, from John Lee Bird.
Whoa!
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Guacamole.
Yeah. It's got,
great. Isn't she great?
You're both great. I mean, you are mutual icons there.
Can you tell me?
Thank you.
Well, the real Minnie's on my left. I don't know if she's on your left, on your. So how was your year, Mindy?
Oh, it was action packed. Okay, so all right, so I'm starting, right? I'm actually starting.
Yeah, this is live. We're live on the air right now.
Right. Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay, so all right, so I have to start at the beginning. Okay, so I was married to a folk musician from Woodstock years ago, Roland Musa, who was part of the Pete Seeger clan family and Richie Havens. I got into the whole rarefied music world many years ago.
Uh-huh.
And so on Facebook, I'm like, I'm into the music world. Okay. So what happened was, so I'm a hat designer and a performer, a comedic storyteller, all these things. And anyway, so I got into, first I want to say it's like my dolls and my likeness came about years ago because I was doing wardrobe for a movie and the special effects guy said there needs to be Mindy dolls. So I never forgot it. And so years later, I was helping some performers move and they had dolls in their likeness on their mantle. And I said, where'd you get those dolls? So then I started accumulating dolls in my likeness for my solo show that I do.
Right.
Okay.
It's called what? Princess Wow?
Well, Princess Wow in Woodstock, how a comedic storyteller and hat maker started a smile revolution. So anyway, so my New York doll maker wasn't feeling well and I wanted a new doll. So I had to find a new doll maker. Uh-huh. So what happened was a friend of mine from London had a doll made in his likeness. And I started, so it was John Lee Bird and I looked him up on Instagram. So I started following him. So I was going to London in August. And so I made reservations for his exhibition to meet him because I needed a new doll. Right. So in the meantime, Earl Slick, do you know who that is? Okay, well, Earl Slick is a legendary guitarist for David Bowie for 40 years on and off, and John Lennon on Double Fantasy and many other famous musicians, okay? So I've been friends with his sister for years on Facebook, and he's really into hats. Wears hats. Okay, so in August, his sister asked me if I would make her brother a hat, and I said, sure. So she said, I need your phone number because he's going to call you in a few minutes. I'm like, okay. So I was all nervous. Earl Slick's calling me. So anyway, so he calls me. We're like chatting up a storm. And then I had said, we're talking about hats. And I go, I need to come over, guy, because I got to see what hat you wear and all the stuff and have a meeting with you in person. So I go to his place and he lives near me. And so I go over and in the meantime, I found out on his Facebook and John Lee Bird's Facebook that he made an Earl Slick doll. Yeah, because John Lee Bird has been into David Bowie since he was 3. And anybody associated with David Bowie, he's like obsessed. Okay. So there's an Earl Slick doll, right? So his manager and sister, they all know about the Earl Slick doll. So I go over to Earl Slick to make him hats. And it's a really unusual story. Okay, so I go there to make hats, to have a hat meeting with him, right?
Okay.
And I said to him, okay, Slick, I go, I'm going next week to London to John Lee Bird, the doll maker's exhibition. What do you want me to say to him? And he said, I want that doll. So I said, okay. So we take a selfie and I get to London. I send the selfie to John Lee Bird, the doll maker. And I said, Earl Slick wants that doll. And he said, no problem, of course. And I said, and I need a doll too. So he goes, absolutely. So I go to the exhibition. He packs up the doll for me. I text Slick and I go, is it okay if I, bring the doll back? I'll be really careful on the plane. Is that okay? He goes, absolutely. And so the doll maker, John Lee Bird, says, I just need a picture of him holding the doll. So he said, so Slick says, absolutely, no problem. So then he said, so the doll maker says to me, okay, I'm going to make you a doll tomorrow, like next week.
Yeah.
Send me a picture and, what look you want. So I said, okay. So the next day I sent him a picture and I said, well, look, I'm leaving to go back to New York next Friday. I need my doll by next Thursday. And he goes, no problem. So he immediately makes me a doll in a few days. I go pick it up. And then he says, okay, now I want a picture of you holding Slick's doll and him holding your doll.
All right.
So I said, okay. I said, okay. So anyway, I have to show everybody. Here's the picture. I hope you can see it. All right. Now I have my thing. Now I don't have.
There you go. There it is.
You see it?
Yes, we see it. Yes.
You see the dolls?
Well, I see your friend, or is that a doll? I can't even tell. The guy with the glasses, that's him?
Yeah, he's holding that's Earl Slick. He's holding my doll, and I'm holding his doll.
I'm hoping that's real and not metaphorical. So, what do you hope for, very quickly, because we have to move to our next guest, for 2025? What is... Okay,
so I'm the founder of the Smile Revolution. We raise awareness to the healing power of a genuine smile.
Mm-hmm.
And which started on my dad's deathbed. He rarely smiled, and I had a really traumatic relationship. It was a difficult relationship. So the last time I saw him conscious, he gave me a big grin, and that smile changed my life for the better in 2005. And so I've done many things over the years to help people smile, and I just want to share a few quotes to help people, right now bring in. I know there's a lot of challenges in the world, as always, but more right now seems than ever. So anyway, so one of my favorite quotes is Mother Teresa says, peace begins with a smile. And Thich Nhat Hanh, Vietnamese Buddhist monk and peace activist, said, okay, waking up this morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to live more fully in each moment and to look at all beings with eyes of compassion.
Very nice.
So and one more thing, because of your smile, you make life more beautiful. So I just wanted to share those ideas with you all, everybody who's watching.
Well, thank you, Mindy Fradkin, Princess Wow, for leaving us with a great big smile to end the year and to begin the new one. Much happiness, much health, and many dolls and hats in the year.
Okay. And shows. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Me too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Mindy Fradkin in the Daverhood here on this. I keep wanting to say Saturday night because it feels like one. No, it's Tuesday evening here. We've got one more hour, not just in this Tuesday, but in the year here. 2024 ending. I am Dave Lefkowitz. I'm here with my wonderful and adorable wife doing the 973rd episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream. Remember that all our older episodes are listenable at davesgoneby.com, and as well as archive.org. We have a channel there, and our audio archives are at castbox.fm. So it's we've gotten a little behind on some of our stuff, but that's okay. I think it's time. We've had so many guests reference Jewish things, reference Hanukkah. We had, of course, someone talking about World War II and the Holocaust briefly. That is a great cue.
You missed Al.
Right, okay.
And you also have Moshe.
I know. We're running a bit behind.
Watch. You missed Festive Bunny Watch.
Bunny Watch, well, that we can do. But before I forget, let me bring in the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon. It wouldn't be a Dave's Gone By special episode without a visit from Rabbi Sol. Rabbi Sol has been off Broadway in his solo one-man show with music, thanks to Richard Shore, who we'll be hearing from later in the broadcast. It's called Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Sol Solomon, which you can watch on Sol's website, shalomdammit.com. But not only does Sol do a lot of our interviews, he occasionally does rabbinical reflections. These are mini sermons about life and Judaism and the world at large. And so, yeah, it's time to bring him in for the new year, or basically to close out the old year, to talk from a Jewish and very Solomonic perspective about the year that just passed. So, without further ado or a don't, here is Rabbi Sol Solomon and his rabbinical reflection.
Shalom, damn it! This is Rabbi Sol Solomon with a rabbinical reflection for the end of the year 2024. You'd think from the punims of everybody walking around or jabbering on TV that this was the worst year ever, that 1861 and 1929 and 1939 and 2020 were nothing compared to the hellscape that was 2024. But really, unless you were personally touched, God forbid, by some horrible tragedy, or you're a health conglomerate CEO and your bodyguard just quit, this past year was just another year. The rich got richer, and we all fetched about inflation. But unemployment was low, Wall Street robust, the economy booming. Complain about illegal immigrants all you want, but are you going to pick the fruit? And whatever you think of Luigi, American healthcare remains astronomical, inhuman, and indefensible. But if you made it through the year without dropping dead, the system worked. If you think I'm joking, remember that just 4 years ago, 1 million people died of COVID. Now we're all sighing, just how many boosters do I need? Especially since the CEO of Pfizer made $33 million in 2022, but $10 million less the year after. If his salary goes below 20 mil, look for the polio booster to acquire a sudden urgency. But again, it's nice that COVID was no longer a nightmare, just a lingering annoyance. Like Ukraine, we want Zelensky to outlast Putin. But at this point, it's not even Russians versus Russians. It's Grumman versus Lockheed Martin, for which mass murderer gets the biggest Christmas bonus. Before you despair, however, note that 2024 was also the year that Jew haters on university campuses slithered out of their green tents to discover nobody was listening anymore. Those left-wing peaceniks, many of them Jewish, spent months defaming Israel for just trying to survive. Meanwhile, these delusional dimbulbs ignored every African, Arab, Latin, Asian country that wouldn't know a human right from a traffic light. Protesters made so much noise early on, breaking into buildings, stalling traffic, spraying graffiti. Celebrities wore their Free Gaza pins, while the squad wept for terrorists. But as Bibi Netanyahu cautioned the world on October 7th, the year before, Israel will keep fighting until complete victory. That means getting all the hostages back and racking up more Hamas leaders on kebab sticks. Happily, most Americans get this. They remember 9/11 and decades of hijackings, bombings, and beheadings perpetrated by the radical Muslim world. Some Americans even realize that thanks to Israel kicking butt, Syria ditched its dictator, and the Iranian Ayatollah is watching his asshole. But try explaining that to a 19-year-old communications major whose knowledge of history begins with Avatar and ends with The Matrix. And yet, despite all the static, voters re-elected the president, the previous president, Donald Trump, vilified by the Democrats, mystifying to everyone else that Donald will somehow return as the 47th leader of the free world. And why not? he was shot in the head, and his brain was still in better shape than Joe Biden's. Look, Biden's been a decent president. It's his party that was the pooper. No one cares about DEI when the national debt is an IOU. Liberals weep over Palestinian refugees and then shrug when illegal aliens set fire to women on the F train. And while trans people deserve the same rights as everyone else, they don't deserve double the rights just because they've got two sexes inside them. So enough with the special bathrooms, build affordable housing, and then let the trannies decide which room they want to take a dump in. But again, let's not dump on 2024, a year that gave us a cool solar eclipse, an adorable pygmy hippo, respect for women's basketball, mostly played by real women, and artificial intelligence answering every question we could possibly ask, up to and including, does this look infected? The real downside of the year, as with every year, is losing great people. Actors, musicians, writers, their work lives forever. They don't. So here's a poetic tribute to the passings of paragons. We lost Chris Christopherson and all his fine rhymes. Farewell to John Amos, and yes, for the good times. We'll miss Quincy Jones and his tuneful panache. So long, Donald Sutherland, whose mash was a smash. There's Dame Maggie Smith, for whom we are pining, and Shelley Duvall, up in heaven, now shining. The laughs have left Fernwood, so long, Martin Mull. At least O.J. Simpson is now just a skull. Bonsoir, Richard Simmons, to the oldies he's sweatin'. Pete Rose was called home. Bet he's up there now, bettin'. Ta-ta, Terry Garr, you were Frankenstein's girl. And we lost two Joneses, Quincy and James Earl. Steve Lawrence has now joined Edie Gourmet. Alas, Willie Mays will no longer say hey. No more shall Richard Lewis comedically fret, and adieu, Olivia Hussey, jolie Juliet. Both West Side and East Side miss Chita Rivera, and Bob Newhart's gone, the end of an era. Charles Osgood filled us with homespun truth, and we learned about Nookie from old Dr. Ruth. So sad that Phil Donahue has asked his last question. We mourn Morgan Spurlock's supersized indigestion. We pine for Paul Auster and all his fine fictions. Is Kreskin in heaven, telling God all his predictions? Peter Marshall, Chuck Woolery, those affable hosts, have joined Roger Corman. All three are now ghosts. And so, adios to our friends who are gone. The rest of us, what can we do but go on? But try to find joy in being alive. Shalom 24, Shalom 25. This has been a rabbinical reflection from Rabbi Sol Solomon, Temple Sons of Bitches, Hinger 8-Neck, New York. Happy Jew Year!
The one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon. Remember, the views expressed by Rabbi Sol Solomon do not necessarily match the views, they kind of usually do, of the host of this program, which is called Dave's Gone By, and we're doing our 973rd episode of the show live Tuesday night. It is December 31st. We're moving into the new year. Shall we do our first of all, one of the things that we just discovered, thanks to the interwebs, is that if you're supposed to eat 12 grapes. It's a Spanish tradition. You eat a grape for all the 12 counts of midnight, and then one grape for every month coming up in the new year.
Why do you eat 12 grapes at midnight?
So we'll save these for later then.
Prosperity in the new year and good fortune. It says, las 12 uvas de la suerte.
Oh, grapes of luck. Yeah. That's doce. So, but before we get to our grape eating, which I guess we'll save for like a big countdown time, especially for midnight.
You counted them.
Oh well, we'll pick 12 off the vine there. But this is very important time. It's time for a very special, especially festive Bunyan watch.
I made little halos too. I'll put on.
Oh yay! Oh, for my bunions.
Yeah. What?
Oh, I guess I'll do my other foot too. I'll do both feet.
Get up
This
there.
is very important, folks. This is
I'll put the. I don't want to be. I'm going to put this over my
one of the
head.
segments that we do
Okay.
on Dave's Gone By every week is called Bunyan Watch. You're checking the size, shape, condition, and color.
Which rainbow thing do you want?
Well, do the dark blue on my big right foot bunion. So for today,
I'm making a little halo.
this is so beautiful, perfect for New Year's Eve.
I'm giving it a little halo.
Because I know, we care about celebrities, and I'm I guess I'm a Z- list celebrity to the people who enjoy this show. So I know
Want
you
me to
wonder.
put another bunion on the other one? What
Well,
color?
let me stand up and show
What
because I
color
can't.
would you like the other one?
The other one should be silver. Oh, yeah, silver.
Okay.
Well, let me get this one
Give me
on.
a second. Wait, no, first I got to put the other one on. Hold on.
All right. Well, I don't know if I can stand like this. Here we go.
Hold on.
She's tying the beautiful halo around my toe, and in honor of our frequent and recent Bunyan Watch segment, which literally is about my bunions.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh my God! Here we go.
No, that was the
Here
drum
it is.
set.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The
notice
drum set.
my Hanukkah pajamas. Here is
Do you
the
notice
size
the
of my
halo?
bunion.
Do you see the halo?
Yeah, there it is. Look.
Would you like to put one on your finger to show?
Ow. Well, here's the other foot.
Okay.
Here's my other bunion. An extra festive, beautiful bunion
Yeah,
watch.
you could hold this over there too if you want to give an extra.
Here, we'll do an extra.
And
Don't know if I
this
can.
one too. See if you like.
Well, I only got 2 legs and 2 hands. Look at that. Behold. And behold, look at the bunion against my shirt.
Here.
That is a spectacular and beautiful bunion.
Let me see it on the phone. Hold on, I gotta see it
Wait,
on
hold
the
on,
phone.
hold on. I
Okay,
won't
now
fall
I
down
got the
here.
phone. I got the phone. Be careful.
So,
I got-
behold, the glow, the gorgeousness of my
Let
foot
me see
bunions.
let me see the silver's nice. Let me see the blue.
All right, one more time the blue.
I want to see. I think the blue is gonna. Let me see the silver one. That one's lovely.
There you go. And part of this week's
Oh, the
bunion
blue
watches.
one does offset it. Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Is that, but here's the deal. We even bought, as a special, because we broke the budget for this show, we bought toe spreaders. So maybe my bunions will get slightly smaller and even better and more corrective when I do these gel-like bunions. Bunions.
I'll just get the grinder and we'll grind it with the grinder.
I didn't know you were on Grindr, hon. Did you have any luck? Oh! Look at that. A toe spreader for my bunion feet. This is going to be brand new and exciting. I'll let you know on our next show, on this coming weekend, how our toe spreader is working out for my bunions.
Here, give me a potato. I'll give him a halo.
Oh, here.
Give me one that's on the desk.
Here's a potato.
And give me one that's on the desk.
What do you want here?
No, there's a halo on the desk.
Oh, a halo.
In front of you. Head cleaner.
Oh, where? Oh, here we go. So.
Which color should he get?
Potato. Oh, I like the dark blue. That looks really good. We have more guests, by the way, on Dave's Gone By. More things to do. But since we were talking about already the passings, Rabbi Sol Solomon in his rabbinical reflection mentioned a lot of the famous people who died this past year in 2024. I do want to make sure that I have time, and before we get some live guests coming in, to remember and honor the guests who appeared on this program and passed away this past year. So there were a couple of them. I remember, I always say this, that the first couple of years we were on and doing this show, when we were on radio, nobody died. Ironically enough, the first person who died, I think, was Al Aronowitz, who was this rock and roll writer and Dylan chronicler. And literally as we speak, there's an Al Aronowitz auction going on of his papers and his books and things like that. So he hasn't even been forgotten. He was on in our first couple of years of the show, and then he was the first one. We were like, oh my God, someone who's been on the program is no longer with us. And now, sadly, that since we've been on the air for 22 years, it's gone into the couple dozen who have passed away. And we lost more than half a dozen this year. So Linda Lavin, she just died on the 29th, 2 days ago. Very well-known actress. You know her from Alice, and of course a lot of her Broadway roles. I remember her being hilarious in a play called The Lions on Broadway a few years back. Catherine Crosby, man, Bing Crosby's wife, wife or daughter, I forget.
I thought daughter.
Oops.
I don't know.
Oops.
I'll look it up. I
Oops.
think.
Yeah, I didn't write down any information.
I'll
I just
look it
put
up.
down her name. She passed
Who
in
is
September.
Catherine Crosby.
And she was an actress in her own right. She was in Meet Me in St. Louis, I believe. And
Wife of Bing Crosby.
Wife of Bing Crosby. So she passed, and she was on our show many years ago. Remember that all our archives are at davesgoneby.com. You can listen to and watch these interviews. Rabbi Sol mentioned Kreskin, who was born George Kresge. Kreskin passed away in just a couple of weeks ago. But most of these people lived long lives, well into their 70s, 80s, and even 90s. Peter Marshall, Rabbi Sol mentioned him, very charming guy, of course, the host of Hollywood Squares Forever, and then he went and did some regional theater and things. I remember him playing Alban in La Cage aux Folles, possibly on Broadway, but I know he was doing that somewhere. And then a couple of people that haven't been mentioned as much as I'd hoped. Peter Schickele died back in January. He, of course, the creator of PDQ Bach.
Right?
The radio show Schickele Mix, which taught people about music.
So much.
Yeah, it was an enjoyment. It still is one website where you can listen to all the old Schickele mixes. I don't know how they keep it up. They can't put it on syndicated radio because he plays so much music that's copyrighted. But if you go do a little Googling, you can enjoy his show that he did about 100-something episodes of called Schickele Mix. And of course, the PDQ Bach albums live on forever. So farewell to our friend of the neighborhood, Peter Schickele, and to Carl Wallinger, the musician. He was basically the band World Party, even though his name is Carl Wallinger. And he passed away, unfortunately, in March, and he was not that old. He was born in 1957. But it was great to have him on the show. And then the hardest one of all is that my cousin, David Levine, passed in late October.
Yes.
David had been on our program years ago talking about his life. He lived many, many years in Prague. Iris was talking about how beautiful Prague is. And he was my tour guide when a friend of mine and I went to Prague for about a week. And he was showing us where the beer halls were and where everything was and what everything was in the castles, because he was Mr. Information Man. And just a decent, charming guy. And then we had him on early in this year again. And it was great because it was also Zoom. So now we had him, physically, visually on camera, talking about a change of life and saying he'd been so many years in the corporate world. And now he wanted to make aprons. There's this thing. He wanted to just, make really good kitchen aprons that people would enjoy. Okay. Go figure. Why not? He's got a wife, he's got kids. It's like he's at the point of his life where people retire, and if they've got something set by, why not follow a dream? But what followed was just a couple of months later, he would pass away. We've heard from a heart attack or some kind of heart condition that he had. And he was, I think, 2 years younger than I am, which is nuts, and which left his wonderful wife, Mary, bereft. So bereft that just a couple of weeks ago, she died too. Don't really know the circumstances,
tragic. It's very tragic.
Thank God the kids are college. One is college age. I think one is high school age. They're not little, so they're. I assume okay.
It's a tragedy.
But to lose one cousin and really two members of the family like that so quickly and so late in the year, it really kind of put a very sad damper on things. But David was great. Mary was great. We missed them. Love them, and those were the real heavy passings of 2024 for us here in the neighborhood. Well, okay, enough regret, enough sadness, enough of that. Let's have another guest in the neighborhood.
Are you gonna have Vicki?
Actually, she's coming later. We have a little time to play our interview with. Let me share screen. Natalie Douglas.
Moshe, Natalie, and Steve.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and follow the pattern that I have and then go back and make up the people we missed. So yeah, it's Natalie Douglas time. So let me find Natalie. And she will certainly brighten things up. And by gosh, she has a story to tell. So here she is in the DAVERHOOD on our DAVERHOOD New Year, Natalie Douglas.
Celebrating this New Year's Eve with more wonderful, talented people, including the lovely person I have in front of me, Natalie Douglas. She has done cabaret and nightclub singing as well as now recording. She put out a CD in 2024, and she couldn't be with us live on this night's show because she's kind of busy doing a concert on New Year's Eve, and I hope it went great. But tell us, how was your 2024, Natalie Douglas?
Hello, how are you? 2024 has been bumpy. I'm not gonna lie. Some good things, some definitely not so good things, but still hanging in there, still doing my best. And happy to have another year on the cusp.
What was one of the good things that happened in 24?
Sure. One of the great things, as you said, I just put out a new album. This is my fourth album, but it's my first album with a label. I was signed to Club 44 Records, and they've been so good to me, and I love working with all of them. And so this is my first label my first album under their auspices, and I'm really proud of it. I love it very much. It's called Back to the Garden, and we've got a lot of critical acclaim and won an award here and there. It just that kind of work always takes a lot to get done. There's a long period of birthing, and then when you finally hold it in your hands, it's amazing. And now it exists forever, and it's available streaming and everywhere.
And everywhere. Now, here's a question. You're going to be back at Birdland in February. Will you still be doing that album stuff and pushing that album, or are you going to be kind of morphing into new material by then?
Well, I think there are a couple things on that album that are in that show, but I think that show is going to be a new version of a show that we did in 2017 and haven't really done since in New York. It's our tribute to Sammy Davis Jr. Next year would have been Sammy's 100th, his centennial, so in 2025. So I thought doing my first New York show in 2025, we would celebrate Sammy and bring some of my favorite and some of the Sammy hits, but also some of the more obscure things. And back when I created the show, I read all the bios, including both of the books he wrote about his life, which, by the way, don't agree with each other.
One of the books was Sammy Davis Jr., Yes, I Can.
Yes,
the other
exactly.
He couldn't?
Yeah. I read the books that he wrote, and I read the bios about him that he didn't write. And, he was a legendary figure. He was in show business from the age of 3. So there are a lot of great stories. And, of course, we don't know. I'm sure some of them are apocryphal, but they're still great stories. And I grew up loving him, watching him on television, and he's just somebody I love to celebrate. So that's going to be February 17th at Birdland, which is, I think, President's Day. It's a holiday. Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit.
Sure.
An apocryphal story, or no, non-apocryphal story, that you hope people will tell about you in like 50 years?
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a really good question. I hadn't thought of that. Well, I guess the big story about my life is that I grew up not knowing that I was adopted. I had wonderful parents who were funny and entertaining and gave me a lot of opportunities and were smart and political and musical. But I thought I was their biological child. As I always say, my mother told me stories about her pregnancy with me. And the only reason that's extremely funny is because she was also a psychologist. And that story was completely made up. But I had a great family. I love my family. My godfather was the mayor of Los Angeles for 20 years, Tom Bradley. He was my mom's cousin. So I grew up in a political family, and, I loved all the opportunities that provided. And then about 25 years ago almost, a cousin of mine came to New York and saw me in a show, and she was sitting with my husband, and she told my husband, Natalie knows she's adopted, right? And my husband said, no, no, and we can't talk about this. There's a show going on. After the show, he said, no, you have to tell her. And she was hesitant because apparently my mother had never wanted me to know, and she was the matriarch of the family and everybody did what she said. And she said, my husband said, no, you have to. And she told me the next night, just like that, which was it opened my eye. Wow. It made everything different, made nothing different. You know what I mean? My childhood was still my childhood. And then I guess it's now 6 years ago, I had the great pleasure of finding my biological father, finding my birth parents. And my bio dad and I were really, really close. He turned out to be a great guy, and I'm very proud of him, a major player in San Francisco. He was one of the founding members of the Black Student Union at San Francisco State. He was affiliated with the Panthers and City Hall. He was sort of a liaison between them. In fact, he was the liaison between the Herbst family and the SLA. When they kidnapped Patty, he went to college with her brother. And he was a major community figure in the Fillmore. And the SLA didn't trust the family or the FBI to give, one of their ransom demands was to give money and food and like diapers and formula to people, underprivileged people in that community. And they didn't trust that they would really do it. So my dad was the person who was the go-between because they trusted him. They knew he had been part of the community for so long.
God, where did you find the time to make you?
Just before that. Just before that.
Well, it's wow. The story.
I know. It sounds like that story can't possibly be true, and there's so many other elements to it. But that's a story I think people, if they tell a story about me long gone,
that would be the
that would be the one.
That you are part of our family here in
thank you.
We wish you a most happy new year. Everybody go see her at Birdland in February and buy the album as well. And the other three albums too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're all available on, Amazon and iTunes and I know. Dolly Parton has the best quote for that question you asked. When Dolly says, when people ask her, hey Dolly, what do you want people to say about you 100 years from now? And Dolly Parton says, I want them to say, she looks good.
That is great. You look great. You sound great. Everybody go hear her.
Good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Natalie Douglas in the neighborhood there. Great to have her on the show. What fun, what energy she has. And, before it gets too late, there are a couple of people that we want to make sure we get in before the new year. We have so many more guests still on our Neighborhood New Year special. But let's, can't forget family. We had my cousin Adam Glass on earlier in the program. Gotta get my mom and my mom-in-law on too. So let us make sure to get some quick New Year's greetings. First, from my mother, Brenda Lefkowitz, and then from my mother-in-law, Rosemary Weil.
On the Dave's Gone By New Year's special, a very special person to me, my mother, Ema, a.k.a. Brenda Lefkowitz, who has known me for, almost 61 years now? Or you kind of knew me sort of a little bit even before that, because I was growing in you somewhere. But how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for asking. And how are you?
Oh, thank God, I'm fine. I'm here, like you said just before. I'm still here, you're still here, Joyce is still here, your family's still here, to most of them. Yeah. So, a tough year that we're not really going to talk about now on some level. But you're feeling okay? Things are good?
Yes, I can't complain. I just want to wish everybody, you and Joyce and the family, very, very happy and healthy New Year. Hopefully a better one. A little peace on earth would be good. I know that sounds awful, but that's what I want.
And by the way, happy, 7th night of Hanukkah to you.
Yeah, yes, Hanukkah is almost over. Tomorrow is the last candle, and it's been a quiet Hanukkah, but a beautiful Hanukkah. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, we've been lighting the candles. And as a matter of fact, earlier today, we lit the candles and we were waiting for them. And 7 or 6 of them went out within about half an hour to 40 minutes. And we're waiting because we want to go downstairs and make dinner. And the last candle took a half hour to go. We understand the miracle of Hanukkah now, where a little bit of oil burned forever. This one stupid candle kept, delaying our being able to make pasta tonight. Because is it out yet? No, it's not out yet. Is it out yet? No. This little nubby thing was burning. But it's been a good Hanukkah other than that. So anyway, love to you.
15 minutes, that was it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
All of them. Yeah.
Oh, good.
They were blowing in the wind, but it looked beautiful while they were blowing. So anyway, like I said, happy, healthy New Year to you and yours. I love you guys.
Love you too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you soon, I hope.
Me too.
So there's my mom, Brenda Lefkowitz, and then, not to be outdone, of course, I've got my mother-in-law, Rosemary Weil, and again, there is no visual on these. They don't want to go on camera. They are nice enough to be on the phone with us.
On the Dave's Gone By New Year's Eve special, I am delighted and thrilled to have a family member on the program, one of the most important family members of all, the mom of my darling and adorable wife, Mrs. Rosemary Weil, who is, are you 87 at this point? Mama Weil?
88.
88! That's right, she just turned 88 in December. So congratulations. Let me ask you, before you give everybody your New Year's greeting, what was the best thing for you about 2024?
And I'm still here.
She's still here. This is true.
That's right.
Yeah, all right, okay. And your husband is doing all right?
Yes.
All right, thank God. And so what are your hopes and wishes for 2025?
Well, good health and peace and happiness to everybody.
Oh, that's nice, Mom.
We'll take it.
Very nice,
We'll take
Mom.
it.
Good job.
Well, this is my mother-in-law, ladies and gentlemen. Her name is Rosemary, and she is a blossoming rose to us. And we thank you so much and wish you a most happy and healthy new year.
Thank you.
All right, in the neighborhood, we've got the two moms in our lives, but now we've got someone, let me stop share so that I can get back to the live people on the program on our special New Year's show. Let me admit, someone...
Dave Tanny says Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to Dave Tanny. Happy New Year to everybody watching at home, of course. We've got about 25 minutes till the new year begins. We've got our countdown coming up. It's going to be a lot more fun in the neighborhood. And we are joined by truly one of our most beloved regulars, especially when we were doing our Today, Yesterday trivia quizzes the last couple of years and earlier this year. But I just had to kind of put aside because I was busy teaching and with other things. But it is great to have with us a talented lady and a woman who's made a what's the word for it? Like this something shed career. My words are starting to elude me now. But this whole life out of a nun. Out of a nun. It's true. It's true. What is it? It's a cottage industry, if you will.
It is.
I'm trying. Oh, there we go. There's your image.
There I am.
Vicki, hey, how are you, Vicki Quade?
I'm fine. How are you? I'm at my New Year's Eve party that I go to every year.
Yeah.
So that's why there's a little noise in the background. but I have squirreled away into a bedroom here to wish you a happy new year.
Happy New Year to you too. So you travel a lot and you're also performing all the
I
time.
do.
You've got your shows going. So what was like the best
I do.
part of the last year for you, Vicki Quade?
Oh, well, when I travel, I do get to entertain. The numbers have been better, I will say. People seem to be going out more. I've had some nice full houses. It's great to hear laughter. It's great to hear people say, I've been hoping to catch you. I've heard about you. I've wanted to see you. And, thanks for doing this. I think entertaining, hearing laughter, realizing that you're, helping people a little bit is kind of nice.
Well, don't forget, I should have mentioned, Vicki is the co-creator of Late Night Catechism. She's also the creator of Are You Smarter Than Your Eighth Grade Nun?
Right.
Bible Bingo, but which is now Christmas. Well, no, is Christmas Bingo over? Or are you still doing?
No, Christmas Bingo's done. I traveled with that. I went to a few places, which was really great. And now I'm booking the game show. You're right. Are You Smarter Than Your Eighth Grade Nun? I just got a couple more bookings for that for 2025. So people are booking and they're going out more, which is great.
Vicki, are you working on a new show, a different show for 2025 to add to the repertoire?
I am. I did a religious Jeopardy for the Chicago Archdiocese radio and TV programming. It worked so well. We had such a lot of fun. And they said to me, you should be doing this on stage. And I said, I will be. That's the next thing I'm going to offer. It was a lot to put together. It's kind of hard to research all the questions, but it worked really, really well. And they had a great time. And I just thought I could do that. I could do that for different groups and theaters and, cities, whatever. So that's my next.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of traveling, though, did you do some international traveling this past year, and what was like the best part of that? Because I used to
not this past year. The last time I did international travel, which I would consider like outside of North America, was when I went to Egypt. But I didn't do a performance there. I just went for fun. I am trying to get back to performing in the venues that I was at internationally, and so I'm still working on that. But I hope to go back to a few of those places.
So, can I ask you also, Vicki, since you're part of the Chicago theater scene and have been for so long, you go and see shows by other people out there?
I do. I see a lot of shows.
So, what was your favorite show of the year that you went to see by another artist in Chicago?
Oh, for the whole year? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I go to Steppenwolf. I saw some shows there. Leroy and Lucy is a reimagining of the devil. Lucifer is a woman, Lucy. Coming to the one of the great blues musicians. There's really a lot of great theater in Chicago. I like storefront theater as well. So like Helena Handbag Productions has a great They have a great holiday show that's still running called Rudolph the Red-Hosed Reindeer. So it's a rethinking of the Rudolph story.
I won't go there.
Not go there. Oh my goodness. There's been just so much really good theater in Chicago. And I see a lot. It's hard to recommend any as being better than anything else. I rarely see something bad. I do see a lot of bad movies. I will say that. So, a lot of bad movies. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the ones that are coming out now, literally, or do you mean when you just rent on?
Yeah, now in this past year. Oh no. I always tell people, get a ticket to theater, support live theater, and also support movies. I've gone to lots of movies where there were 11 people in the audience. Now I see more, It's not back to where it was. It's not sold out, except for stuff like Wicked. But it I do see a lot of movies too.
Yeah, but you
So
said they're crappy, so why should people go see them?
well, yeah, that's right. But just because I don't like something doesn't mean you won't like it. So
Well, we like
that's the idea.
and we love having you in the neighborhood, back in the neighborhood. We expect to get you
Thank
back
you.
long before,
I love
hopefully
being a part of it.
next New Year's. So happiness, health to you. Nuns looking over you, just as Moses kind of looks
Thank
over
you.
me somewhere. And we'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.
Have a great
I
day.
hope so. And you have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's. Be safe.
Yeah, okay. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Vicki Quade in the neighborhood as part of our New Year's show. So yeah, let me make sure that all the people, can you just do a quick Facebook check and see if there's anybody that we're waiting for who, because we missed a couple of people who should have been.
I don't see the only people they're talking live.
Yeah.
Should be Charlie.
Well, no, we got Richard coming. I'm hoping.
Where's Richard?
He was 11:40. He should be right now.
Oh yeah, Richard and then Charlie.
So, okay, hoping he's gonna log in. Since he's not, maybe we can do a little makeup of what.
Oh.
What? Is there a message?
Rowan said, "I'm here. I'm on hold."
Who?
Vicky, but she's in.
Oh, she's in. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. So, you know what? Let's make up for a little bit of a lost time and bring in. How about Al Parinello? Al Parinello is a theater owner. He used to own radio stations too, and he also has wonderful stories that we don't really have time for on the show. But if you go listen to his earlier interview on the program, he talks about Andy Kaufman and knowing him for a whole bunch of years. So let me get to Al Parinello's interview that we did a little bit earlier in the week, and we can enjoy his fun and his energy. Let me just make sure that I share my screen. Here it is. Kill that. Bring him up. Come on. There you go. And here's Al Parinello. On this New Year's Eve 2024, one of the things that we're loving doing is bringing back folks who have been on the program this past year. And the unforgettable Al Parinello is with us. I will never forget the story he told about knowing his young friend at that point, Andy Kaufman, and the story of the bus stop, which if you haven't heard it, we don't have time for you to tell it now, but go back, listen to our interview with Al from a couple of months ago to hear the very, very funny story of Andy Kaufman picking up women, as it were. Great. I'm sure you have a zillion more, but we also want to hear about you. So Al Parinello, he's a producer, former radio station owner. What you been up to this year, Al?
We've had an amazing year with the theater. I own a Surflight Theater, and it's just doing incredible stuff. This year we're opening up with a show called Top Hat, and you don't know about it. It was a movie in the 1930s. In the 30s, yeah. Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers. Someone said, let's turn it into a musical, a Broadway musical. It never got to Broadway. It played all over Europe. And it was big. It had headlines. It did extremely good business, but something went wrong in the marketing of it. So it never got to Broadway. So they started looking now at bringing it over to America, and guess whose theater just got it?
It's official. So Surflight will be doing it this spring, this summer, when?
This spring, yeah, in April, and we're the first theater in the United States of America to get this thing, and that is a very, very proud accomplishment.
By the way, just remind people, where is Surflight? Is it in New Jersey somewhere, or?
Yes, it is. It's on Long Beach Island in Beach Haven, which is a fun place to just frolic. Oh. The great thing about Beach Haven is that there's only about 900 homes there, people living there. But in the summer, there's 250,000 people every day walking, going to the beach, going to the theater, going to play golf, doing all the stuff that people do in the summer. And, it was one of the first summer theaters. And, you know, summer theaters were built in places like Long Beach Island because that's where the people went.
Sure.
They weren't in New York. They weren't in Pittsburgh. They were in Long Beach Island. So, you know, it all makes some sort of sense. The more I progress in the entertainment business, the more I think it becomes more interesting every time I learn something. But we're having a great time at the theater, and now we've got this new show. We got all kinds of shows. I mean, that we're doing West Side Story. We're doing what's another biggie? On Golden Pond. We're just loaded. Christmas next year, we're doing Elf, you know, so we line up all the entertainment. So that's what Surflight Theater is all about, and I love owning it. I'm just having so much fun.
Yay.
Great people. So at any rate, but listen, I just wanted to say hi to all of your listeners out there. New Year's Eve is a wonderful night. And I know there are people partying tonight and having a great time. And all I can say is that it has been a pleasure meeting you this past year. I love doing the interview. I'd love to do another one about my new book, which is coming up.
What's the name of that? What's it about? What's the name of it? What is it?
It's called How to Accomplish the Impossible on a Regular Basis. The Rules of Uncommon Success. Yeah, and it said, you know, I mean, in my career, I consider myself a successful guy, but not the way everybody else tries to do it. I just use these little imaginary concepts that have worked for me for decades.
Is that psychosis? What do you mean imaginary? What's an example of an imaginary concept that has worked for you?
Learning a new language that you can employ to guarantee your success. I call it the assumed tense. You know, some people, we all speak in the present tense. But if you can assume something about yourself because you know you have knowledge in a particular area, you get to speak in that language. And when you do, great things happen. Yeah, you'll see the book when it comes out. We have all kinds of little ditties like that to talk about. But you know, it's about assuring a success, but with a whole new definition. I'm a very happy man. And it's all about happiness. It's all about happiness. It's all about making sure you're happy enough to get what you're looking to do actually accomplished. And you know, people get it wrong. They think it's all about making money. They think it's all about, you know, they strive to make money. Money's important. But I don't know. It just seems to me that everyone I've ever met, the people who make all the money are actually very happy. And there's nothing wrong with that.
But there's no connection. The fact that they're wealthy and doing very, very well has no connection to their happiness. Somehow, I don't know.
I'm telling you. Listen, you know, I did a radio show called Your Own Success, right? And I did this radio show for years. And it started right here in New York on WMCA, and then it was syndicated. We had syndicators coming after us. This is a great show. Let's try to get it out to other markets. We were in over 200 markets at one point. But the key to the show was I would just ask people, why are you successful? I interviewed astronauts. I interviewed actors. I interviewed, museums of people who are running great organizations, authors, business owners, so on and so forth. It comes it comes out to the fact that happiness is what makes it happen. Happiness. You don't get happiness by being rich. You do not become a happy human being by being rich. And there are stories in the newspaper every day to prove that. But you do become successful by being happy. So it's the contrary thought. People don't think it through. And this has come through. I did over 3,000 interviews with these people. And this is the biggest message that I have learned. So that obviously is going to be a big part of the book. I'm writing the book every day, having a lot of fun with it, and it goes on and on and on.
Well,
so, yeah.
I hope your happiness goes on and on and on, too. I hope you have an even happier 2000 2025, Al Parinello. Everybody check out Surf Light Theater in the spring and summer if you happen to be in the New Jersey area. And
Surflight.org, by the way, is there.
I'm sorry?
Surflight.org.
Surflight.org for the theater. And look out for the book. What was the name of the title one more time of the book? About
How to Accomplish the Impossible on a Regular Basis.
Well, we do that every week on Dave's Gone By, but we thank Al Parinello for visiting us again.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. And thank you for having me. See you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye now.
Al Parinello in the neighborhood there. So, and we are here with you. Let's stop sharing that. Let me kill that and bring this up. Now we're waiting for a couple of, oh my God, come on, stop share. Oh, there I am. Okay. So something, stop for a minute. So, person we were waiting for is not here still.
Who are you waiting for?
Well, we're waiting for Richard. And
the next one is going to be Charlie.
it's Charlie. So Charlie should be logging in momentarily. Well, no. We have a couple of minutes. So you know what?
Moshe and Stephen.
Let me play Moshe, and then we can really get ready for, because we're only 10 minutes away from the big bowl drop and the new year. We will have a countdown. Of course, couldn't do this without a New Year countdown. So let me once again get back to sharing screen. Oh, unless someone, where's that coming from? Hold on. Get back to this. Get away from that. Get back to this. And Moshe Denburg, he is a musician, has a band called Simis, and he's a regular friend of the neighborhood. A really nice guy, all the way from Canada, joining us. So his New Year has, I guess, no, it'd be probably the same New Year, or maybe an hour or two earlier. But either way, here's Moshe.
Well, I feel like I should be Rabbi Sol Solomon here because I've got, of course, the dreidels on my head because it's still Hanukkah. But, oh boy, we're also talking to a fellow who's been on this program many times, whether playing our trivia quiz or just talking about his life and his music. Our beloved friend from Canada, Moshe Denburg, who looks a lot, you look fantastic. What did you say, 75 years old?
I'm going on 76 in 3 months.
Miles, I mean, and a healthy, God willing, 76. You look.
Yes, I can't complain, Dave. I really can't complain.
We all, you should. We all complain. We're Jewish.
But it's okay. But who's listening?
This is my show. Nobody. But here's the question: how was your 2024, Moshe? How anything fun happen?
Overall,
yeah,
it was a good year. I mean, there's always, there's conflicts that we're all dealing with, and we're all trying to juggle in our brains. That are not juggleable, perhaps, in some senses. We were very transfixed by the American election process, but that's in Canada here. And I want you to know, all those in the United States, don't worry, you still can be our 11th province. You can still become our...
Hey, we're buying Greenland, so you guys can do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, you could become the 11th province. Immediately, your longevity will go up, and you get universal health care. Okay, there's some things to fix, but you got it.
We'll take it. So cool. Have you done a lot of music? Because he has a band called Simis, TziMmes, where you do a lot of. Oh, there. Hold it closer if you can, so people can. Tzimm. There you go. es.net, simis.net. So how busy was Simis this past year?
Well, I mean, at my age, not that I want to age myself, but I don't run after a lot of gigs, but still, we did a whole bunch of things. And in fact, one of the main things that I've been doing is called my dissemination project. So one of the things I do, I get together with an audiovisual engineer, and we've been putting out some really nice YouTube productions of a lot of the Simis repertoire.
So if people want to find that on YouTube, they go to...
Go to the website, and you'll get a YouTube link right away. If you go to YouTube and you put in Simis music, because if you just put in Simis, you'll get stuff about making Simis, the food.
Yeah, you get a whole Simis about Simis. Yeah. What you need is
actually
that. Yeah.
YouTube, you'll like this, Dave. The YouTube channel is called Big Simis Productions.
I love it. I do like it. I do like it a lot. So what else? What else is? What are you looking forward to in 2025, Moshe?
Well, there's a bunch of things on my agenda. Mainly, I'd like to, of course, continue musically, not only with Simmons, but the Vancouver Intercultural Orchestra, which I don't lead right now, but I contribute to. It's an ongoing thing. And then, Naomi, my spouse, and we plan some trips, we plan some significant vacations.
Where? What do you have?
Last year we went to Italy. And I was the MC for a wedding of some friends with an Italian connection. And I got to tell you, Dave, the Italians love me.
All right.
Because, they like a very histrionic person who also has enough seichel to get things done organizationally.
Nice. Now, well, I'm halfway there. I've got this.
You've got exactly what I've got, Dave, I assure you.
Thank you. Well, you have fun in Italy. Where are you thinking of going in 2025?
Well, I'm thinking, we haven't decided yet, but I'd like to go to Europe. I have a good friend in Paris, an old buddy that I actually trekked the Himalayas with 40 years ago. And, yeah, really. And Naomi, my spouse, she made a great friend, a bosom buddy, in Italy, in a certain place near the island of Elba, and blah, blah, blah. It's called Piombino, and she's in constant contact with her. They have 2-hour conversation because she's trying to learn Italian, and this other lady is trying to get her English. So we have a reason to go to Europe and
a reason to go back to Italy. Who needs another reason to go back to Italy?
Yeah.
Just throw coins in the fountain. You'll get there. That's
right.
But anyway, Moshe, it is just wonderful to see you, to hear you, to know that you're still making music and so incredibly vital and good looking at age 75. You give me something to shoot for, I'll tell you.
Shoot at.
You and Noemi, much health and good things in not just 25, but 35 and 45 and 95 even. You should live so long. So, happiness to you for the new year, and thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Dave. The same to you and your wife.
Bye-bye.
Moshe Denburg, ladies and gentlemen, in the neighborhood with just a few minutes to go before the new year begins. And let me make sure that I can get back to my main big screen here and stop the share and bring in our beloved guest to share the new year with us, to literally count down from 2024 into the coming brand new year. Known him for many, many years. He's a longtime theater critic. He is the creator and the co-host of the theater review show 2 on the Aisle. And oh boy, he is bespoke, my friends. He has dressed for the occasion. Welcome, Charlie Gross. How are you, man? Oh, wait, unmute. What's that?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, wow.
I am good. I'm here in my own little corner of Times Square, as you can see. It was raining pretty badly here, but I said, hey, I'm going on Dave's show. Stop the rain. Well,
did it stop raining? It looks all right where you are. You're not wet at all. And by the way, we have a counter. We're only a minute and a half about.
Oh, wow. Well, I've got this. This is a shofar, a ram's horn that you blow on the Jewish New Year. So I figured.
Oh, I tried blowing the shofar, but he just punched me in the face. But we're going to also feed you a grape here, Charlie, because it's a tradition. There you go, to eat 12 grapes on the New Year.
Huh?
Oh, I can do the countdown.
Tonight is also the 7th night of Hanukkah, so we lit 7 candles.
So, right.
Very rare occasion to have Hanukkah and New Year's on the same day.
Oh, we do have a dreidel here.
There you go.
We're all completely ready. So you know what, Charlie? I've got to get this counter on.
Okay.
This thing going here. Hold on, because we can do a countdown, ladies and gentlemen, from 2024 down to or up to 2025. So these are the last dwindling moments. We're at 45 seconds before the brand new year. So Charlie, we'll talk to you, as soon as after the countdown is over to see how your year was and what theater you've seen. But everybody, and my wife and I, we will embrace for part of this. So I may be off camera, hugging and kissing and eating grapes with my wife. But we're at 26 seconds to the new year. So Charlie, we'll count down together.
Looking over for the ball. Oh yeah, there they go. It's getting
There we
ready.
go.
It's getting
15
ready.
seconds. So happy New Year to your wife and to your kids, of course. 11, 10,
9, 8,
7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year, Charlie. Happy New Year, my love. Happy New Year, honey. Oh, wait, we got the other ball to drop. Here it is. I love you. Happy New Year. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, Charlie.
Happy 2025, Dave.
And here's just put these on too. This is important. This is the prop we have.
You're the fireworks?
All right.
Oh, we literally have fireworks in the neighborhood going off for the brand new year. Charlie blew the shofar, but the stupid Zoom won't play like audio, even though I've got the musician audio on. So I'll make believe. I'll make the sound of it like woo. But can you hear her? Oh. So you know what, Charlie? On your side, you have to click a button that allows sound for musicians.
Oh, yeah.
Because on my side, I've got to click, but I think you have to do it in order to be heard. This happens with Steve the Whistler that we're going to have on in just a little while. Try it one more time. Do you see the thing where you can manage that? Because I would love to hear the shofar.
Okay, I'm going to try. Let's see. Oh, original sound for musicians. Okay.
Yeah, make sure it's on.
Or live profession audio. Oh, you know what? Live performance audio. Let's see how that works.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Can you hear me? Can you talk? Okay. Kind of.
No.
No?
Not working.
All right, well, I guess that's something for the people in Zoom to work on for next year.
Charlie, I'm sure you did a fabulous blowing job there. But so Charlie, how was your year? How was your 2024?
Well, it was a very exciting year in many ways. I went to Israel in March, which, given all the hubbub that's happening down there, that was an interesting time to go. Happy to report, though, that back in March, things, they're not getting the tourists, and they can use, some help because half the population has to fight Hamas in Lebanon, etc. But spirit was very good. We spent some time. We have family there. My wife's sister and her family really went very well. Something very exciting, I have a one-man show, How I Found an Affordable Apartment. And this year, I bought an apartment for the first time in my life.
Wait. The place you've been living in forever, or you moved?
No, we're moving. We're moving.
Man, so where are you going to be? Well, don't give us your exact address.
We'll be 8 blocks from where we are now.
Okay, cool. And, so all this time you've been renting?
Yeah.
Mazel tov. Mazel, that's great. So, I guess you just need like a 1-bedroom because the 2 kids are grown, right? Or
well, my younger daughter will probably be coming with us.
Okay.
But it's hard because 30 years of accumulation that we have to deal with.
Well, are you going to have to downsize, like give away all your playbills and all of that? Or?
I actually am giving away playbills, some playbills. Mostly our good friend Jeff Goodman has taken them. Some of them I just, gave to friends and neighbors.
Cool.
But, it's books, it's stuff that we've had. We have some very nice utensils and glassware that we've actually never used. So we're going to be looking for young couples who could use it, for charities who might want to use it. We're just
it's time
trying to start fresh.
Mazel tov. Well, I know you have a job that because you went for a period when you lost your job and then you found another one, and that's been going okay, God willing.
Yeah, going fine, and of course, the ironic thing was at the same time we had to shut down 2 on the aisle because there were no aisles. Well, it was COVID.
Oh, well, that was 4 years ago, man. That's what I'm talking about.
But that's the time we're talking. Yeah. So, Leslie and I morphed the show temporarily into something called Critics Circle, and we were doing interviews. We had producers from let's see, the Paper Mill Playhouse, and several other major theaters that New York Theater Workshop, for example, talking and.
So can I ask you, is Two on the Aisle though back to being?
Oh yeah, Two on the Aisle. Yes, we're back to doing the reviews. We're still on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, but you can also catch us on YouTube. And in fact, as part of my cleaning things up, I am taking old tapes of Two on the Aisle from 20 years, 30 years ago. I found some very good Dave stuff. You remember your interview with Denny Dillon years ago?
No.
She was a performer.
Nothing against Denny Dillon, but I just don't remember it.
Right. Well, this was again, we're talking 30 years ago. We're talking like 1995. She was, among other things, in the notorious second cast of Saturday Night Live. That was the season after the original Not Ready for Primetime Players left. And that cast, I think, except for Joe Piscopo and Eddie Murphy, only lasted one season. But she went on to do plays. She was in My One and Only with Tommy Tune and Twiggy. And you interviewed, and then there are several other ones that you did. And this is, I think, even before the DAVERHOOD.
God, the one I would love that you could, if you could find, was when it was with the Folksbiene people. And I was interviewing two really, there was Zipporah Spiceman and another guy who was acting in the Yiddish theater of the time. This is going back like literally 30-something years. And Zipporah, she was an old lady, and she had a story to tell, and she was just going on and on. I didn't want to interrupt her because it would have been rude, but literally her co-star sitting there with her did not get a word in for 10 minutes. And then he literally fell asleep while she's talking. If you could find that on tape, I would love to see that.
Right. If, a lot of stuff that I had totally forgotten about is turning up. Certain things that I had remembered and had hoped I'd find. There was one show Jeff and I did live.
Yeah.
Two very nice young lady. One was with Playbill Online, which we were associated with at the time. The other was a playwright. And we got, I don't know who was supposed to be screening the calls, but
yeah, well, yeah.
We had, and I actually reached out to the young ladies. The playwright is still writing, and the woman who was with Playbill, I think she's like a coach now for.
Was Blair Glazer?
Yes.
Yeah, I've worked with her for years. Yes, of course. Yeah.
And she's alive and kicking. We actually had a very nice correspondence.
Oh, yay. Well, it's always great to correspond with you, Charlie Gross. Again, Happy New Year, but just want to take one more minute or so to ask one of your, or two of your favorite shows of 2024. Even though we're now technically in 2025, it's still 2024 in like Chicago and Los Angeles. So,
okay, sure. Well, we can still talk about 2024. I mean, you spend the Jewish New Year, getting another analogy, reviewing how you behaved the last year, and I guess you could say making resolutions. Some of the things that stood out in my mind were Gats. Now, this is a complete reading of the novel The Great Gatsby on stage, and this is like 8 hours, including several intermissions, but they stage it, they act it out. It's a long slog. Get some coffee at the first intermission.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing piece of theater. It was an amazing piece of theater. Let's see. Mary Jane, which I had seen off Broadway. Saw it on Broadway. Very, very tragic, but so helpful. This woman trying to raise a severely handicapped or damaged child, sick child, who probably will not live to see his 5th birthday. And yet she perseveres against all odds. A wonderful revival of Our Town with Jim Parsons.
I've heard mixed reviews of that. Do you think it's a really good revival, huh?
I do. Not perhaps not the best one I've ever seen, but certainly, it's a great play, and I'm always happy to see it.
Cool. Well, Charlie, we are always very, very happy to see you in the neighborhood. And we wish you you look fantastic. Everybody that was come on the show today looks fantastic. You look fantastic.
I look marvelous.
You look marvelous. And love tomorrow.
It's so nice to have Charlie on a day when Charlie can be on the show, right?
Yeah, we would have Charlie on much more often, especially when we were doing the quizzes. But of course, we air live on Saturday mornings, and Charlie's an Orthodox, modern Orthodox kind of. Yeah. So, are you going back to Israel this year, or going to wait a couple of years?
I would like to. We'll see. We'll see.
Halavai next year in Jerusalem. Charlie Gross, thank you. Happy New Year.
Always a pleasure, Dave. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah.
Shana Tova. Bye-bye.
Shana Tova.
Charlie Gross in the neighborhood on the Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream, live on this Wednesday morning, January 1st.
Yay.
Look at this.
It's 1125.
So I've been having some work done on my testicles, and then this is the left one. No, I'm kidding. Yes, the ball has dropped on New. I should have done that with my bunion. I should have had a New Year's. We did Bunion Watch earlier. If you missed it, remember that this show will be saved and will be put on our website, davesgoneby.com. Now we're having some folks at our server clean the site and strip away some hacker crap that has happened with our website and with totaltheater.com. So it may be a little delayed before we get everything up there. But definitely check that out there. Check our archives at archive.org, which is, we put the same stuff, our episodes, our interviews, plus we put our audio.
Your show got 102 plays.
Ooh, we hit the three-digit mark. Yeah. Well, considering that people used to watch, Dick Clark, like 100 people are watching me and you, but mostly me, for our New Year's show to spend, the end of a full 365-day year and start the next year, a momentous kind of personal occasion, and doing that with me and with our guests. I am actually honored and touched by that, and I thank you, all of you, very, very much. So
I would say that Charlie is definitely the most formally dressed.
I know.
Or tuxedo.
He puts me to shame. He puts even New Year's black tie, black hat, potato to shame. So next year I guess I have to wear a caftan next year.
You have to wear a tuxedo and you have to wear a cravat.
Yes. So we have more guests in the neighborhood. Because I know the ball dropped, you're all tired, you want to go to sleep. I get it. But don't! Because we got great people coming up. For example, you're not going to miss this.
You got a lot of, so you got Marisa, the thing about the hat, Adam Glass said, and then David Tanny said, have a Happy New Year. And Moshe said, Happy New Year, Dave. Nomi and I enjoyed neighborhood and banter a lot. May you continue with health and success for many more years. Shalom.
Chaverim is friends. Chaver is friend. Yeah. Read if you have it, the message from Tim Cavanaugh. Because Tim wanted to join us.
Funny.
The musical comedian Tim Cavanaugh, the guy who gave us 99 Dead Baboons, he wrote us a lovely message saying, Hi, Dave. I wanted to wish you good luck with your New Year's Eve special. It sounds like it will be a wonderful night with some of your best and dearest friends from the neighborhood. Absolutely true. I wish I could be part of it, and thanks for the invitation, but I'm tied up hosting friends and family at our home tonight in Chicago. Please give my best to your wife and to Rabbi Sol and to all my friends from the neighborhood who I keep in touch with through the Dave Lefkowitz Bunyan newsletter, which, by the way, is much more fun than the Howie Mandel Ingrown Toenail Bulletin, which his wife bought him a subscription to that back in 2006. When I developed a painful mistletoe on my right foot. Have a terrific 2025 Shalom. That from the very non-Jewish but very wonderful Tim Cavanaugh. So yay. Thank you, Tim. And any other messages from folks?
No, a lot of people want their segments so they can repost them.
Fine. We will be rendering and sending and MP3ing and M4A-ing over the next couple of days. I promise that. So, yeah. Okay. We've been delaying this too long. Ladies and gentlemen, someone who's been one of our earlier guests early in the years of this program.
Who's it going to be?
Who slept all the way to Babylon. Well, no, were we in Lynbrook at that point?
Who is it, Steve?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Herbst is, well, I mean, he's spent many years as a
But the
therapist.
big thing is he now knows how to whistle on Zoom.
We figured this out. During this segment, you don't want to miss this segment. It's great. We've got Steve Herbst. Let me share my screen. I'll just get this going. Steve is a whistling man. He whistles. I mean, it's a hobby, but he's done it semi-professionally, and he's won awards for it. Yeah, he'll tell you all about it. Oh, and he likes to tell jokes, too. So here's Steve the Whistler.
You can see the shirt, folks. Whistler's Duet Beggar. And even his website there, SteveTheWhistler.com, because he is Steve Herbst, the Whistler that I have known. He was in one of our earliest years in the neighborhood on Dave's Gone By, back when we were on terrestrial radio on WGBB on Long Island. Steve came down to the studio. He whistled unaccompanied, a cappella. Sometimes he whistled to music. So what was your year, Steve, in whistling in 2024?
Well, 2024 was, not terribly busy. I performed at a number of open mic shows. Last January, I sang a solo with the University Glee Club of New York City at Lincoln Center, which can be seen on my website, SteveTheWhistler.com. Mm-hmm. I go to these open mic shows, pretty much monthly. And, when there's an opportunity, I seize it.
And you haven't, because it's been about 20 years now, and maybe more for you as a whistler, you haven't lost the urge, you haven't lost the love, the desire for sharing that very particular kind of musical instrument.
Yeah, well, I started whistling as a serious musical instrument when I was 7 years old.
Oh, yeah?
And I used to whistle walking to school, walking home. When I got home, I would go into my bedroom, close the door, put on the phonograph record, and practice whistling. And, when I was at college at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, guys would stick their head in my dorm room and say, "What were you just whistling?" And I said, "Oh, that was Beethoven's Seventh Symphony." I whistled all 9 of Beethoven's symphonies, all 6 of Bach's Brandenburg Concerti, Scheherazade by Rimsky-Korsakov, Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy.
Now, can I ask, would you whistle the melody, or would you whistle counterpoint, or kind of do a jazzy sort of riff on the orchestra that was playing the actual song?
Whistle the melody.
Cool.
And I developed a 3-octave range, which is double the average good whistler. And, since I saw you last, I don't know exactly when that might have been, but, I'm an international grand champion whistler. I competed against whistlers from around the world. I was the first whistler ever named International Whistling Entertainer of the Year 3 years in a row. And I was named to the Whistlers Hall of Fame, which is the highest honor a whistler can be.
Is there a place where that is? Is there physical whistlers?
Lewisburg, North Carolina.
Huh. Have you been? Have you I guess when you were inducted, you went to Lewisburg?
I used to go down to Lewisburg every year to compete.
Cool.
That's where it was originally the National Whistlers Competition. Then it became the International Whistlers Competition. And the 40th and last one they held, the founder passed away. I was the master of ceremonies. I was the MC for that. And so yes, I've been to Lewisburg many times.
So let me ask you, whistling aside, what's something cool or funny or interesting that happened to you in 2024?
Geez, I don't know. I can't say it. Offhand, I can't think of anything terribly funny that happened to me. Of course, I do enjoy telling jokes.
Oh, do you? I had no idea. Do you maybe have a joke or two for us?
Well, yeah. Do you know what you get when you cross a snowman with a vampire?
No, I don't.
Frostbite.
Yeah. Let's have another.
Okay, do you know what you get when you cross Santa Claus with Sherlock Holmes?
I don't.
Santa Claus.
Beautiful, I like that one. Okay, two more, please, from Steve.
Is it okay if it's a little?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, have you ever thought that it's really strange that hemorrhoids are called what they are?
They should be called asteroids. Oh! Yes.
And the doctors could be called astronauts.
Okay, one more, and then we gotta let you go. But one good one from Steve Herbst.
Okay. Do you know what kind of book an orange can write?
What kind?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh. On that one of all ones. But Steve Herbst, you're looking good. It's a delight to see you. We want to wish you a Happy New Year to you and yours. Any exciting plans or just any hopes for 2025?
Well, I'll be singing a concert with the University Glee Club of New York City at Lincoln Center on January 11th.
Oh.
And, you know.
And when you say singing, you mean
singing?
Singing, yeah, okay, yeah.
I've been a member of the University Glee Club of New York City it's my 47th year as a member.
Well, it brings us glee to bring Steve Herbst back into the neighborhood. Now, the weird thing about Zoom is that it's blocking out music, it's blocking. So you can try whistling a little Beethoven for us to take us out. I don't know if it'll take, but if you can.
Let me come up with something, all right? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve, I didn't want to interrupt you. I wasn't hearing anything on this end, but it was beautiful to watch you whistle. I don't know what the hell it is with Zoom.
I know what the problem is.
Well, do like one bar if you can fix the problem.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Okay. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. There's a Zoom thing that you're required to click. Like, ready?
Okay, do it quick. Yeah. Rhapsodic from Steve the Whistler Herbst.
That was the introduction to Rhapsody in Blue.
Yes, yeah, and lovely. You know, as fun as it was to watch you silent, it is a lot more fun to hear you whistling.
Well, I could edit that out, maybe.
If I have time. Or maybe leave the whole thing. It was fun. The whole thing's fun because it's Steve the Whistler Herbst. The website again is stevethewhistler.com. Yes?
Right, and I want to wish you and all your listeners or viewers Happy New Year.
You too, my man.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
My CD, Broadway and Beyond,
yes,
has 15 Broadway show tunes on it, and Danny Boy, which was put on because of popular demand, people having heard me perform Danny Boy at St. Patrick's Cathedral and wherever. Danny Boy is actually a funeral dirge.
Well, yeah, types are calling it, yeah, right.
The way people are used to hearing it, you know, Danny Boy, no, it's a funeral dirge, and that's how I whistle it. So if anyone is interested, if they go to my website, they can see how to order my CD, and I'll be happy to autograph it if somebody asks for that.
Steve the Whistler Herbst, HERBST.com. Keep on whistling, and we'll see you soon.
It's just stevethewhistler.com.
I'm sorry, stevethewhistler.com for Steve Herbst. Okay. Happy New Year, my man.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Was that worth waiting for, or was that worth waiting for, my friends? Steve, the Whistler. Again, it was so wonderful just to... I didn't want to interrupt him when you just saw his mouth going...
It looked like he was doing some kind of breathing test.
Yeah, and then, but then obviously listening to him do Rhapsody in Blue is pretty cool. I mean, we should just have him also imitate birds, because you could hear like birds sound and some of the whistling he was doing there. Now, I'm not making myself big again, because we have a couple of more guests to share with you as part of our DAVERHOOD New Year. We're heading towards 12:30 on January 1st, 2025. And we're not quite finished with the program yet, because we want to get to a couple more guests who have made this show so special. One of them, we had, how old? I was 89, I think, or 90. We had James B. Flaherty on earlier. And we've had a bunch of people in their 60s and 70s. But we're going to go old again in a wonderful way with an actor named Brandon Maggart. And if you know particularly that last name, you probably know his daughter, Maud Maggart, who is a cabaret singer and was on our program many years ago. And more famously, a lot of people know his other daughter, whose name is Fiona Apple Maggart. But Brandon has had a major career in his own right, mainly in TV, but movies as well. So let's check in with our recent friend of the DAVERHOOD, Brandon Maggart, and see how he's doing on this new year.
On our New Year's Eve celebration, with 2024 ending and 2025 beginning, it is a delight to have someone back who is on our program this year, an actor whose credits go back many, many years, but he is still very much alive and well. He is Brandon Maggart, and he's with us in the DAVERHOOD. Welcome, Brandon! Yowza! That's very celebratory New Year's, man. Now, you had a pretty good year in terms of, you sang with your daughter on stage out there in LA, and then you had a big birthday celebration too. What was good for you in 2024?
Okay, let me tell you one thing. It's kind of a downer, upward downer, okay?
Sure.
Now, last year when I turned 90, I did my cabaret show out here in LA at the Gardenia. And when you're 90, you're a nonagenarian, right? It's a deal. And people say, Brandon, you made 90 years old, you made 90, you're a nonagenarian. Oh my God, how did you do that? It's wonderful. And it's like you've turned in all your papers, you passed all your exams, and you've graduated. This is incredible. Now, 91, which I just turned a couple of weeks ago, less than that. Anyway, I turned 91. And 91 is kind of like, you're doing kind of like you're doing postgraduate work. You're going studying through things. And
yeah, I mean, you have to wait till you're 100 until you really get the big, the hoo-ha celebration again. Well, 99 they do it. 99 you get a pretty good.
A friend of mine, she said, Brandon, how you doing? Knowing that I was 91, and I said, well, I'm actually doing quite well. I'm very excited. I've been doing a lot of research. I'm very interested in junk DNA and dark matter, because neither one of them have any really, they're mysteries, both of them. But I'm working on a link, a quantum entanglement link, linking junk DNA and dark matter.
Okay.
Possibly a quantum entanglement connection with thought and mass through time and space. And I told her that, and she stared at me for a minute. She said, but what are you really doing? I said, I have a cat. And she said, oh, that must be a comfort. People don't get, they figure you're 90, over 90 or 91. You're just like a lump on a log.
You're a slice of cheese at this point. They don't get that you're still a bubbling cheese on a pizza. There's still stuff going on, man. Can I ask, are you okay? I mean, I see a discoloration on your face there. Yeah, what happened there?
Well, I have little skin stuff. And I put a little chemo going there, and I put Band-Aids on it so it wouldn't show up red for you.
Yeah, no, it looks fine. It's just, yeah, okay. No, you're looking good other than that. So what else? What are you looking forward to in the coming year besides turning, God willing, 92?
Well, I've got to recover first from Kamala losing the election. I was so sad on that because I had a whole show set up about Kamala Harris becoming the president. And then after the election, I had to rewrite my whole show. And I was doing, people like this. Milk and Honey show, right?
The Jerry Herman show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milk and Honey. So I was going to add this, I'm going to sing just a little bit of my lyric. I will follow you. I am ready to go wherever you happen to lead me. Just in case you might happen to need me. All that you have to do is turn around and I'll be following you. I was singing that to Kamala Harris, but
you can just reframe the material and make it more of an elegy rather than a celebration. I mean, it's a couple of tinkering with dialogue here and there. You might make it work.
I did tinker a little bit and put it in and stuff, but I said I didn't want to be political so much. I said, but what you do in times like this, I said, the whole beginning, I said, look, I'm staring at the audience. I said, look, you're looking at me, and I'm looking at you, looking at me. And I said, what the hell are we going to do? And I said, well, what would Charlie Chaplin do? Smile.
His heart is breaking, or yeah.
Smile though your heart is breaking. And then I said, you can smile, or you can, when your sweetheart sends a letter of goodbye. You know that song, You Can Cry?
Johnny Ray, I think that did that one, yeah.
That was it, that Johnny Ray. And I said, okay, you can smile, or you can cry, but what if you're standing in the foot of a mountain, and all of a sudden a big avalanche starts coming towards you? Are you going to smile, or are you going to cry? I said,
run.
You just kiss your ass goodbye.
You can't be depressed, man. I'm sure a lot of people are really, really upset about the last election, but we lived through 4 years of Trump. We lived through 4 years of Biden. You lived through 90 years of people worse than both, so.
Are you kidding? Nobody's worse than Trump. But anyway, 91 years I have lived in democracy. And we're on the brink now of maybe kissing democracy goodbye. Anyway, I'm going to stop now.
Yeah. Enough politics. Let's just wish each other happiness, health, good things, more music for 2000. Well, we never really mentioned that Brandon Maggart is the father of both Fiona Apple and Maud Maggart. But happy good things. Despite
Mazel tov.
Mazel, thank you. Mazel tov to you. And may you do a dozen concerts just for your 92nd birthday, because then they remember, 92 is pretty good. So,
yeah. Happy New Year.
You too, my man. Thanks so much.
Right.
Well, and there's quite an interview right there with Brandon Maggart here on the Dave's Gone By show. It's a little after 12:30, in the morning in this brand new year of 2025. And we're getting ready to kind of close the show out and thank everybody. But we can't do that without bringing in one more beloved guest of the DAVERHOOD. This is a guy that I've known since since I ran the box office for a show that would later go on to off-Broadway, and I think maybe even Broadway, called Olympus on My Mind. He was this charming, puckish, young singing actor named Jason Graae. And he was just the sweetest person. I'm sorry? A fellow named Jason Graae, who is just, everybody loves Jason Graae. We just do, and he's had this great career. He's been on Broadway, he's been off Broadway. He was in Hello Mother, Hello Father, the Alan Sherman Show. He's also done tons of cabaret and concerts all over the place, as well as Forever Plaid. So it is a pleasure always to bring Jason. So if you've been with us for 3.5 hours, do not go away now, because the last thing you want to do is miss our final interview of the night with the sweetheart that he is, the one, the only, Jason Graae in the DAVERHOOD. Oh, what a delight we are in for to have our great good friend of the DAVERHOOD, Jason Graae, the actor, the singer, coming all the way from the West Coast. And, you know, I saw this he lives in this gorgeous house out there. And behind him is this really fancy-looking, amazing painting. And you told me that this painting is what?
It's my grandmother, Svermor Graae from Denmark.
And if I could Svermor Graae, I would have a much better life. But why was she painted like this? I don't even have to go there. Yeah, no.
Well, she was kind of ahead of her time. They wanted to paint her because she's beautiful. She is very Scandinavian looking. I don't know if you can tell from how I'm holding her up, but she's got a kind of a Liv Ullmann kind of side to her, as did my Aunt Marita, who was her daughter, and my sister kind of resembles her also. Oh. So I never got to meet Svermor, but I knew Aunt Marita quite well, and they look really similar. They wanted to do this portrait of her, and she said, well, I don't want to sit and do nothing while you're painting a picture of me. So if you'll let me read the paper, I will go ahead and do it. So this was very progressive.
For the time. And by the way, speaking of which, I'm assuming at some point Hirschfeld must have done a picture of you, or two.
You know, I was lucky enough to get 2 Hirschfelds.
Well, was it from Olympus on My Mind, or from when you were in what? Do you remember?
No. The first one was for a little show called Just So that ran not just very long.
That was the Kipling one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good to it, but it didn't have a long run. And then the second one was Forever Plaid.
Oh, we've heard of that one. Yeah, Jason was one of the original Forever Plaidsters. Plaidiers? What would you call yourselves? The Plaidists? Yeah.
Plaidsters, the Four Plaids, yeah.
Now, let me ask you, this past year, 2024, that we're coming out of, what's something fun or interesting that happened in your life, whether musical or not?
Wow, it was such a roller coaster, wasn't it? God, what a year. What a year it's been. It started out with a bang. I performed in the smaller theaters of Carnegie Hall a lot, in Weil Recital Hall with John McGlynn, and then the Zankel. I did several Michael Feinstein concerts there, but I'd never been on the main stage, and I got to do this Steve Flaherty tribute produced by Kevin McCollum and my college of Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music. And we did it, I know it sounds very highfalutin, and we did it at Cincinnati several years ago, and it was such a big hit that they moved it to Carnegie Hall, and we did it in January, and it was thrilling.
Well, yeah, I can totally imagine. Are you doing any theater stuff? I know you do concerts all the time, and you're appearing in various cabaret and nightclub things and concert halls. What about theater? Is that coming up for you maybe in 25?
Yeah, 2025 is looking good in that department. I'm doing a production of Follies that they haven't really announced everything about it yet, but I am going to be in this production of Follies here in LA, and it should be very, very exciting. I'm very excited. It's the end of January, and that part I'm very excited. And then I'm doing a new musical at Laguna Playhouse called The Remarkable Mr. Holmes, And it was co-written by David Ellerstein, who's the artistic director of Laguna Playhouse, and some wonderful people. And it read great. I loved it. So I'm excited. Yeah, so I'll be busy through April.
All right. And what about concerts? Can we see you either on the left coast or on the right one in, a Birdlandy place or a Blue Note-y place or where? Or
You'll never see me at Blue Note. No one ever really needs to see me at Blue Note. But thanks so much for throwing that. I'm such a scat singer. Let's see. Concerts. I've got some Jerry Herman Symphony gigs coming up with the Omaha Symphony in March, I believe. March or April. And I'm doing my one-man show at Quincy. I'm making my Quincy debut outside Boston at a beautiful, beautiful theater up there. End of March.
Which is, just tell us a little bit about the one-person show, because maybe that will travel around, And
well, thanks for asking, Dave. It's kind of a conglomeration of all my shows. This particular one, I think this is kind of Greatest Hits, the sequel, and so I'm singing some stuff that I've done before, and then singing some new stuff as well, shockingly so, and I'm really looking forward to it. Alex Rybeck is playing for me, and so I'm always thrilled when I get to unite with him.
Wow. Well, we are thrilled always to be united with a beloved, truly beloved Jason Graae. Go look for him on the stages doing Follies and doing the other musical, which is called what? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Remarkable Mr. Holmes. It runs the month of March at Laguna Playhouse, which is a beautiful theater in a most beautiful city.
Well, you are a most beautiful person, Jason Graae. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for being with us in the neighborhood.
You too, Dave. I loved seeing you again. Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year there from Jason Graae in the neighborhood. If you're looking for him in all these different venues and all these different places, remember that his name is Graae, pronounced Graae. But definitely want to see him in Follies. I should have asked what character. I don't know if he's a buddy. He could be a buddy, but he's too nice. I don't know. Anywho, you're just going to have to look that up. Well, I am looking up at the list of all the wonderful people who have joined us for this New Year's edition of Dave's Gone By. New Year in the neighborhood. We've moved from 2024 into 2025 and could not have done it as wonderfully as we did if we didn't have the participation, if we didn't have the presences of all these wonderful people who joined us. For example, comedian Mark Miller, look for him on your stages. Actress Annie Korzen, whom you can see, frequently, all the time on TikTok and her little videos, which have really, really gone viral. Stephen Fisch, my great retired friend of the neighborhood out there on Long Island, yay. David Sheward, read his reviews in theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com, and of course, totaltheater.com. Dr. Susan Horowitz, we're going to go out with her song that she was talking about 3 hours ago that she wrote for the new year. And then wishing Eva Heinemann a full and complete recovery from her knee surgery. Certainly, with whatever she's been going through, she's still got that great attitude and love of theater. So check out High Drama with clips on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And then my cousin Adam, certainly condolences to him on losing his dad a couple of months ago, but persevering and doing well with his job and well with his life. Yay, Adam. I want to give a shout out to Al Parinello, the fellow out there at Surf Light Theater in New Jersey. You're going to want to see what they're putting on stage there. Surf Light Theater in New Jersey. James B. Flaherty, read his books, please. He's writing all these fiction books. He's busier now at 92 or almost 92 than most of us were when we were in our 40s. So he's putting us all to shame. Yay for Jim Flaherty. Want to also, I should be wearing these while I'm reading these. Here we go. Shout out, of course, to Brian Gari and his new CD and his old CDs, his music, and his being out there and writing songs and joining us in the neighborhood. Iris Dorbian, award-winning fiction writer. Iris Dorbian, get her book, Next Stop Boston. Want to give a shout out to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon. His website is shalomdammit.com. So if you missed his rabbinical reflection earlier in the show, you can read it at shalomdammit.com, and there'll also be a link to it on YouTube and on a couple of other websites. But yeah, if you missed his poem about the passings of 2024 and all the rest of his spiel in his rabbinical reflection, shalomdammit.com is the place to start. Moshe Denburg, our musical friend in the neighborhood, and his band Simmons. My poor wife is just trying to stay awake for 2 more minutes. I know. I'm like, and I had a nap today, and I'm falling out.
No, you're hyper.
And let's see.
You're hyper.
Mindy Fradkin and a woman, quite literally, of many hats, and God knows many stories about hats.
Put on your head, not hats too, son.
Steve Herbst, look for his whistling. And get his CD, his Broadway CD. You can find SteveTheWhistler.com. Here, I'm a man of many hats myself. There we are. Thank you, dear. Natalie Douglas, look for her. I'll bet she'll be doing theater. She'll certainly be doing concerts.
You look like a statue.
There we go.
Do some dancing. Okay. Sprinkler.
I can't do the sprinkler with these hats. This is my new move, my sprinkler move. I'm still not doing it right. There's still people who can dance. I cannot. I can't dance. Don't ask me.
That'll be your New Year's resolution to learn how to do dancing.
Well, I can learn the sprinkler. I'll try and learn the sprinkler move for next year.
The sprinkler move, yeah.
But yes. So shout out to Natalie Douglas and get her fairly recent CD too. Vicki Quade. Go see her if you're out in Chicago, and if you've never seen Late Night Catechism. Not to mention, Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun? Now's the time. This year is the time. Go to the live theater and go see theater in Chicago, particularly Vicki Quade's shows. Yaron Gershovsky, he's got that new album out with Janice Siegel of Cy Coleman songs, so check that out. Shout out to my mom, Brenda Lefkowitz. Thank you for joining us in the neighborhood, and thank you to my mom-in-law, Rosemary Weil, for also giving everyone a New Year's shout out. Thank you. He dressed up for the role, Charlie Gross, in the neighborhood, and remember his long-running show. And
he was the most fancily dressed.
And he was also one of our
Except for the
best.
lady with the hat,
Yeah,
the doll.
I mean, he came prepared, and
She had a doll.
so that's Mindy. Yeah, but Charlie is the host of Two on the Aisle. He co-hosts with Leslie Hoban Blake, whom we just weren't able to get to for the show. Would have loved to have had her on.
Gallivanting.
Yeah, well, possibly, yeah. But Charlie's great, and Two on the Aisle is great. It's been on for 30-something years, reviewing theater, and as you can see, Charlie's very, very knowledgeable and very entertaining about the Broadway and off-Broadway theater that he loves. We've got Jason Graae, of course. So go look for him on the left coast doing, the right coast, in Follies this year.
New York.
And doing stuff in Omaha as well. And then we've got Brandon Maggart. He's still going to be doing some concerts, sometimes with one of his daughters, out there at the Gardenia Room in California. Almost 92-year-old Brandon Maggart. And I think that, aside from Potato, we want to thank Potato, who's now the angelic Potato. Look at the little halo on his head. He's so wonderful. We thank Chickens for flying in to join us for the New Year. Actually, I should be wearing these glasses now.
124 plays.
Yeah, we got like 20 plays in the last 45 minutes. That's pretty cool. Since it's already the New Year.
Wow,
Huh?
you're schnazzing.
Pretty neat. Oh, we didn't have Pooey join us, so Pooey's going to make a cameo.
Here you do out with the old and with the new here.
Yeah. And who's this? And we have old Pooh and, of course, new Pooh too. But my biggest thank you, aside from all of you for watching and all of you for giving thumbs up and telling people about this program and enjoying the show and commenting and writing me emails at davesgoneby@aol.com. or posting on the Facebook page. But really, really biggest thank you and all my love to my darling and adorable and wonderful and supportive wife. Can I say her name? I say accidentally anyway half the time. my amazing, she has a different last name, so you can't really tell who she is just from my last name anyway. She's my wife, Joyce, and I love her quite tremendously a lot. And, you know, a lot of the stuff you see behind me, we worked on that together.
Except the part that is me.
Yeah, that was my part. This is her part. And just, you know, did a lot of the support and the help of getting the show done and getting me organized and getting people into Zoom rooms. Yeah.
We take care of each other.
We do.
And we have mutual respect for each other.
It is, you know, it's what it's all about.
That's what it is. Take care of each other.
Married 26 years, known each other for 28.
Blind obedience.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the marital vows, obey.
Blind obedience on your part from me.
On my part from you. Well, yeah. So.
Well, let's just say this was my office. And if they can't see, there's not one inch
it's
of
a
it.
disaster.
It looks like, I don't know, a lot of stuff.
But we'll clean this up tomorrow morning. This will look exactly like,
Yeah.
But we're going to hit the hay, but
what?
Something for 2024. What are you hoping?
I just hope that I stay alive and that I'm not attached to machines.
Yes.
That's my
God.
That's what I hope.
What a thought.
That's what I hope for this year.
It's not going to, I mean, at some point, it's something.
I do not want, that's what I want. Did you eat your grapes?
I got to eat more grapes. It made me choke, so I had to stop. I'm going to have another grape.
I had my 12. You eat your 12, honey.
More grapes for the new year.
I have like some indigestion, I think, from eating them, and I ate all the pretzels here. Have the pretzels instead. That you could have that.
Well, no. Now the grapes are symbolic. The pretzels are just tasty.
Yeah, you have to eat them all.
So, before we go, or as we go, as promised, instead of playing my usual Dave's Gone By,
I don't think you should play it because I think it's going to take you.
Well, no, it's. I think I have the rights on this. So.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, but I did promise to play it. So.
Just play part of it, and then I'll play over it with my music.
Oh,
yes. We have Dr. Sue Horowitz. She was on the program about 3 hours or so ago, talking about this song that she wrote about when she was a kid, and everywhere she would go, she'd Christmas stuff and this beautiful Christmas tree, and kind of felt left out, as I did, honestly, when I was growing up. And there wasn't as much of an effort made for other religions because everything was Christmas that time of year. So here's a song. Let me find it again. I can kind of I guess I can share screen because is it an MP3 or a thing? Hold on. Gotta find it now. So she did share it.
Is it just music?
I've got to see whether I saved the video or here it is. It's okay, it's a video. So we're gonna open that up.
You could put your.
I think she's actually singing it.
Put your grapes in.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I'll open this up. Got to share screen again one more time.
I think my feet fell asleep.
Before we say goodbye. Oh, everything's my butt on this chair. Here we go. Here is Susan Horowitz, aka Dr. Sue. Gotta make that big.
Let's play with this.
When I was a child, my school had a tree. It was perfect for Christmas, and choose there was me. So I sang every carol and tried to belong. Today, here's my holiday song. May peace in the world fly like a dove. May all of us celebrate all that we love. Peace in the world, fly like a dove. All of us celebrate all that we love. Now, I'm diverse. I live in New York. I eat holiday dinners with chopstick and fork. I light Hanukkah candles, spin dreidels, and sing White Christmas by Irving Berlin. May peace in the world fly like a dove. May all of us celebrate all that we love. Peace in the world fly like a dove. All of us celebrate all that we love. And lovers who hide out of sight will hold hands and wear rainbows and walk in the light. May peace in the world fly like a dove. May all of us celebrate all that we love. Peace in the world fly like a dove. All of us celebrate all that we love. Yes.
That was beautiful. Dr. Sue Horowitz, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, ending 2024 in a beautiful way and starting 2025 in an equally beautiful way. I was trying to have our beloved semi-working toilet light.
Just a second, David. You know what you gotta do? Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm touching this thing. It's covered with urine.
Hold on.
Which really is a great way to start. So let's see. Here it goes.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Yeah. How are we gonna?
Is that doing it? It's right.
But the thing is, down here, I'm holding it under the desk, and it's lit. I move it, and it stops lighting because this thing's on.
Yeah, turn that off.
Oh wait, here it is. Look.
Turn it off. Turn the lights off behind you.
I don't even know how to do that. Oh wait, they gotta be unplugged. Hold on. Let's do this. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, this goes here. This thing stops here. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
look. And look at the sparkling.
Yes. Woo! Look at that.
Who
that's
knew?
Beautiful, David. Let's see.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Wow.
One last big amazing surprise.
Wow. Look at that.
And I think we were wasting this on a toilet. This light. This is the seventh night of Hanukkah.
Oh, the blue is beautiful. Try the blue. Look. Here, look.
Look.
Not in my eyes.
Oh, sorry.
You're blinding me with the toilet light. Put the toilet light
Blinded by the
toilet light
light.
on the thing.
On here. Oh,
yeah,
here.
it's beautiful.
Okay, let's do a little more. Here.
Yes. Oh, God, you blinded people now.
Oh, yeah. This little light of mine.
It's beautiful the way they shine.
I'm gonna let it shine. It's not. I have no idea they sparkle this way.
No, me neither.
This is why people like drag queens dress in this.
Try it with the flashlight. Where's the flashlight?
I don't know. Okay. Let's try this.
Yeah.
Not as well, a little bit. It's kind of cool.
Let's see.
It's more like that. No, not so much. This
you're blinding me with the thing.
Sorry.
Stop. Shut the flashlight and stop putting that in my eye. I can't see. I think I have no retina.
Oh my
I
God.
need my eye doctor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the lights are going out. It's time to go to sleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, just about.
No.
January 1st, 2025. We will see you, actually, on January 4th. We do have a new Dave's Gone By coming up this Saturday. Our regular time, 9 a.m. until noonish or thereabouts. So, happy, healthy, Shana Tova, New Year to you. I guess I will play our There Goes the Neighborhood theme to bring us out of our DAVERHOOD special. Thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you so much to those of you who were also part of the show. Have a wonderful year gone by.
Days gone by.